Let's see. So you all had been involved and delving deep within a keep in this terrible undermountain area. Not the actual undermountain, but an area under a mountain. And a mountain beside, or rather the verge, the end of the Rhombus Valley, where Poor Town has been besieged by cold weather for several months. Some of it completely reasonable because winter happened, but other bits of it were outright excessive in terms of what nature would provide. So they asked the adventurers guilds far and wide, and through rumor and various other aspects, asked begging for help. Something, anything, that might be able to help end this winter. The Adventurers Guild of Neverwinter took up that task. More specifically, there was one actual druid that was especially interested to try and figure out what this problem was. He took it upon himself to attempt to help. And for that, poor Yusuf Garza seems to have gotten himself mostly eaten. Not 100%, but mostly eaten. Eaten to the point that it would be sufficient to cause unlife, in which it did. He is super dead. And his remains have been found, most of them. And the rest of them are, some of them are smeared on the walls, and they're here, there, everywhere. He's with us now. He's everywhere. But you have found his gear, and you have found a couple of other things. What you have not found in this terrible underground frozen hell is a way out, nor have you found the cause of the winter. You recently took a rest, as necessitated by the fact that, one, it's just been a really long day, and two, some of you, not all, but some of you, were very nearly dead. You are currently not dead, which is a plus. Certainly not full of vigor or health. I don't think that argument could be made, but not dead. Similarly, or rather, somewhat possibly related to that, the not dead part, or maybe the soon-to-be dead part, you never know. You, during your rest, heard some clanging and some rumbling, some various other things. You've not really fully explored some other different aspects of it. I am cutting out the map as I speak, but overall, could be a lot worse. In the maps channel, this is roughly what you have explored. The top left square being an area where the remains of Yosef Garza, as well as a couple of other little odd kobold-esque creatures are. There's also a Yeti torn to shreds, slightly outside of its door, going to the right. You found a Yeti den in the top right square, where there is quite a bit of, well, let's just say it, there's like mounds of Yeti shit. And also lots of dirt. There's a giant hole in the ceiling. It's very cold. There's also a portcullis to the north. It is closed. But everything here is quite large. Each of these squares, to explain to the new folk, is approximately 10 feet by 10 feet. And so each one of these little individual boxes is about 10 foot. The hallways are about 10 feet wide and about a little over 15 feet tall. And for the most part, the hallways have kind of vaulted ceilings, extremely well built with large cut stones that fit together. All of the stones are of individual natural cut. These were not necessarily quarried, or if they were, they weren't in a traditional form. They're not even blocks. They're all individually shaped and carefully fit with tremendous craftsmanship. And further from that, there's also these doors. Every sort of dotted line swinging aspect is kind of a door. I know it's kind of tough to see. I'm still getting used to the maps. Those doors themselves are about 8 feet wide or so, and about 12 feet tall, and they are in the traditional proportion of most doors, with a knocker about 8 feet off the ground or so. Anyway, but this is a very large built place, and but of course we're not touching you guys yet, not just yet. So those of you that have taken a long rest within the storeroom, which is the half-collapsed sort of rectangle kind of in the middle, which hopefully you guys know where it is now.
Mm-hmm. The bit with the blank L shape in it.
Yeah, with the blank L shape in it. What would you guys like to do?
Well, so well, I mean, now that we know ourselves that the druid is dead, how are we going to prove it to the guild that he's dead and we didn't just steal all his stuff?
We got his head in a bag, remember?
Yeah.
Like,
You have his head in a bag.
Yeah.
We put his head up, we put it in a bag, we came back here to rest, and then we were in the midst of making a choice between going towards the portcullis and sending Finney to his inevitable doom, or heading back south to check the way that we never bothered to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, exactly. You have his head in a bag. You have all of his identification, his worldly belongings, including a small healing potion and several other small druidic elements, rope and things as an adventurer would have, and his bag. You've got all of that.
I'd like to point out as well, actually, Alucard said if the druid ends up dead, that 10 gold that was in that bag can go to Finney, so if Finney would like his gold.
You can carry it, but once we get out of this place, that 10 gold is going to between people.
If Finney wants his 10 gold.
We've got more important. Where are you going to spend 10 gold? We've got more important things to worry about right now. You'll get your gold.
Find a way.
You'll get your gold. Shut up. Right, let's move. Are we going portcullis or are we going south?
I reckon south. That portcullis seems to be more of a one-way trip.
Right, it's a one-way. Well, it's a Finney only trip.
Yeah, it's only one way for Finney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we send Finney to his demise, let's see what's down south.
Yeah, I agree with that. Head down south first, go down the right path of where the entrance was.
Okay.
The divine entrance, because we fell.
Entrance of where we came in at.
Quick question: What are we doing? What are we doing with Fosmic? Presumably, he's still with us at the time, or is DM just gonna?
Did he just explode?
He is currently at NPC, so
Ooh.
he's there, but he's gonna be very quiet.
Who randomly teleports him to to a new plane of existence.
Just again, quick cue. If he's an NPC, can we tell him to do things and he'll do them, or is he
potentially? Yeah. If it's reasonable, then he will do it. And that's if he's reasonable. I'm not gonna. If I will not subject him to being killed off currently.
If cut off for your own head.
Oh,
exactly.
I can't tell him to jump into the giant pit. Then, so.
It's one night into the spikes.
In terms of jumping in, no. But if you like, he'll climb down. Maybe anything that seems reasonable, he'll potentially do because he's just sort of on, he's on autopilot.
That's fair enough. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's basically kind of where it sits right now. Because otherwise, it sort of breaks certain elements of it where it's just like, oh, where's that guy? Oh no, he's just not here this week. His character just doesn't exist. Oh, who are these two new people? Like, they were here the entire time.
It's just like two people burst out of Osmix, just like what he is.
Yeah. Like alien.
Just fully grown, pulling their gear out. One of them's like, oh man, I forgot, where's my rope? Hang on, then digging into there a little bit more. Just anyway.
No intestines. No, that's the spine. Oh, here it is.
Alright. South we go then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You want to take the southwest door out of the storeroom then?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Or let's recall, was the southwest booby trapped? Because we came in through the east way, didn't we?
No.
We came in from the north.
The north door had like that spike swinging trap thing. Like
it did.
So
Well, but yeah, if we go through the same door, it just means that we're less likely. Well, it was make to.
I
The issue is
really
if
want
we,
to
if
go
we
the
go to
entire
the
way.
north door, we're gonna have to go to the west and then south, and we're gonna have to go through the room with the roof that we don't trust.
Yeah.
And then we have to go back past the area where there's the trap that we set off.
The net trap.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, fair
And-
point.
Presumably, the creators, considering the crude method of manufacture for the spike trap, and also considering the crude manner of deconstruction of the Yeti, and also the crude manner of storage and use of the remains of the druid, it's very likely that the kobolds were the source of that booby trap, and they are no longer a source or possible source or contributor to booby traps. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Well, we should still be careful in case they did lay a trap there. So if we are opening that door, we'll just open it carefully, try and inspect for
well, you
traps
can
or
do-
anything. But
Yeah, I was gonna say you can inspect for traps.
Through what method will you be opening this door? Do you want to inspect it for traps before you open it, or as you open it, or how do you want to do this?
I say as we're opening the door.
Okay.
I mean, if it's
But
well,
the
actually,
method.
in all fairness, it opens out to the corridor, not into us. So if there was a trap,
does.
it'd be a little more difficult to set on that side.
Well, the spike trap was the same way.
oh,
the
yeah.
north
that,
door.
yeah, that door goes out as well. Shit, my bad.
Yeah, it actually
I-
used the door opening as part of the mechanism. As soon as the door cleared, it released it.
Right, yeah. You know, for some reason I was thinking the north door went inwards to the room we were staying in for whatever reason. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just to clarify, we didn't fully shut these doors, did we? Because then we had that issue where we lit the campfire and it would have smoked the whole room out.
Oh, that was in the storage room. We're in a
Well,
different.
we're still in the storage. We went back to the storage room to rest. That's where we are.
But I don't think this door was really touched. I think it was the north door that you left open.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've not really been through this door. We've been through it like once, like ever. So. Alright, well,
Like
so.
if we're opening it, while it's being open, can we like stay towards the wall? So if something does like swing down through the middle, it's gonna miss. So
Sure. And do you want to, like, Finny, do you want to just pile on top of Vosmic's shoulders? Does that work for you, or do you want to Piero's, or
Averill.
Piero, would you like to climb on Vosmic, or like how do you want to guys? What
Let's
method?
get Finny up on my shoulders and let's try to open up this door.
Okay. So this door, you've been through it before. It's not too tricky. It's a little stuck, not too bad. But you've opened enough these doors that you know the way to turn it. You got it all right. You can kind of give it a feel. Takes a little bit. Sorry, bad yawn. It takes a little bit, but once it... Yep, there it is. Going, and click. Yep, got it. The door is able to be opened. All you have to do is push it. Now, you want to be real careful, right?
Yeah, we'll open it. I reckon open it slowly, and if we hear any like twang of a rope being snapped or some mechanism, probably not open it the rest of the way. But
Infinity, you want to remain on Piero's shoulders as this is opened, as this is pushed.
well, I presume the door's been pushed enough so it won't relatch itself. So
Yeah, you can certainly have it enough that it's not likely to. This one's not really stuck or anything. It's been relieved and opened a bit so that it, assuming that it's pushed a little bit, it'll be okay.
yeah, I'll climb down, just back up a little bit then.
Okay.
Best of luck to whoever's opening it.
Well, it's Piero because I'm at the back. I'm the range guy. So.
Yep, I'll open up the doors slowly.
Oh god, why is it
Okay.
Piero that does everything? Poor Piero. No wonder he's
More
all
armor
he's
than
dead.
all of us, right? He's tanky as fuck. He should be fine.
And he's
Does
also
anyone
nearly
want
died.
to eat several times? Do you
Yeah.
want to try and look for traps or anything? Would anyone like to do that
Oh,
while you're
I mean,
opening, or do you just want to just open it slowly? I know you mentioned looking for traps, but it's just, do you want to passively do it or actively?
Oh, like I said, I'll be staying a little bit further back, but if I hear like any obvious noise or anything, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for like noises, like some
Okay,
mechanism going off.
And
Go ahead
since,
and roll a perception check then, Finny. And you, Piero?
yeah, well, since I am the one actively opening the door, I would
You
like
just
to
want to listen for it?
actively keep an eye out.
That
But-
got a 21 on
Actually-
perception.
Yeah, that would technically still be passive, to be fair.
Okay, so Piero, you don't want to really actively be looking or anything. You just kind of want to just push it and trust.
Yes.
Okay. Would anyone else like to do anything, Alucard?
No, I'm good at the back. Fine. Like, if they're not going to actively check, then screw it.
Okay. Piero, you just push the door open, and it seems fine. Would you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh, son of a...
Did I not hear anything? Or
No, not really.
yeah, well.
And I roll a 1.
Oh my god.
Well,
Okay.
It was a 2, but my dexterity is a -1.
Oh, we're starting off
Gotcha.
well tonight.
Piero, how many hit points do you have currently again? After this long rest? Again, after nearly dying
15.
again.
15.
Hmm?
15.
15?
Mhm.
Okay. So, all the spikes come down.
Oh, fuck.
It's the same exact trap as last time. All you guys had to do was look up and you would see it right there, but no one looked up. You knew where the trap would be and everything. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Good news is I rolled very low. You only take 7 damage. It was very quiet. It was just fine, and then this swinging arm with spikes just comes right down and floop, right into Piero's side.
And I just,
Well.
once I'm off this bike, I'm just staring daggers at Vinny. Just
I
contemplating.
mean, I didn't hear anything. So, you know.
To be fair, Piero, because you did say I'm gonna actively look. It was gonna be like a 5 to see it, and then you're like, you know what? Nah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
All
how-
right. So,
I don't understand. I don't understand the concept of like not actively looking for traps. Like, if you're given the option to look, why would you choose not to?
I don't know.
why
I
did
don't
you
know.
choose not to?
Because
Anyway,
did you not hear what I said? I said if they're not going to actively look, then fuck it. So,
I'm just gonna throw this out there, and again, I don't like to break the pace of the game for it, but I will just put this out there that the last time you took a rest in here, previous to this, you heard the kobolds on this door, but not on the other door, because I think Rosmic failed his perception, but the other one was trapped. It would make sense that this one would also be trapped. And you knew exactly the trap they used last time. You could have very easily seen this same trap. I'm just throwing it out there. And this one, that's 7 damage is on you guys. I did everything I could to help that. So,
To be fair, knowing my luck, I would have rolled probably still a 1.
it's fine. I have all my hills back. I can keep you alive. It's fine.
And, Pierre, are you using D&D Beyond dice, or are you using actual dice?
What? No, D&D.
Might I suggest, if you have actual dice, maybe try using them.
I don't
Might,
have any space.
might
do
work
not-
better.
I don't have any space for any dice. I am compact. I'm small.
that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So, speaking of Feria?
Oh,
Fever.
hey.
Hey.
That's you.
Furia.
Feria. And Iceblade 12? Mercedes, okay.
Exactly.
Oh,
Could you perhaps change the nickname from Iceblade 12 to Mercedes?
I
so that
did.
can remember it?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, it's just not showing up in chat. Or the main route, I can maybe go out and come back in. Might fix it.
No. That's
Hmm.
alright. I'll try to
Is
remember.
it spelled like the car brand Mercedes, or?
Yeah.
I think,
think
that's
so.
how
I
it's
don't.
spelled.
How have I
You can
spelled it?
go to his
Yep,
stat
there we go.
page then.
Yeah, I've changed it. I think that's how it's spelled.
Okay,
Good for now.
close enough. You beat me to it. So, you two Mercedes, you, as a proud and curious wizard, had heard the rumors of a town that winter did not end in, and you know that that means some probably pretty heavy magic, and certainly something to look into. Could be curious and interesting. And you knew that also almost certainly very dangerous. But you don't have a whole lot of money to hire a really good adventurer. But wait. You met a random ranger who is kind of, let's just say they're really big on community service. And you pitched it to them that, hey, you want to go save a town? Eh? And the answer, of course, was yes. And together, you two have made your way into the Rhombus Valley. And in front of you is a large inn with a sign that says the end of the road. Except the word end is spelled INN''D. And you imagine that someone enjoys that quite a lot. The streets are covered in snow and mush, and it's quiet. What do y'all want to do?
Truly, it is quiet.
Wait. So, okay. End.
We need to go in the end.
Oh my goodness.
It seems to be the only. You've passed several homes. You're coming into, essentially, in terms of walking into this valley, it's a long road that comes to a kind of T-bone junction with a short road that goes to the east and west, or rather to the left and right, not so much east and west. And you got an inn right in front of you, and there's a couple of houses around, and looks like some other larger buildings off to your left and to the right that kind of goes into nothing very quickly. But you haven't seen too much in the way of light or life, although you do see some smoke coming from the inn. That's pretty much the sort of situation. You could just start knocking on doors. You could go to the inn. You could just start screaming for help.
You also said it's snowy, right?
Yes, it's quite snowy.
Yeah.
This is a town that seems to be stuck in a perpetual winter. I'm sorry, could you repeat that again?
Are there any trees around the place, or is it more open? Or
there are virtually no trees. As you were coming in for the past mile or two, it's just been pasture. It's been clear, flat land within this valley, and then there's a mountain ahead that has that is completely covered in fog. You could just see that the land goes up and then it disappears in clouds and swirling mists. And there might be trees there, but you haven't seen trees for a while.
I would say take shelter or refuge at the inn.
Mercedes, do you have a vote?
For the end of the road in.
Literally,
Go,
end of the road.
You want to go in the end of the road? Okay. All right. Heading into the end of the road, you see, it looks like he's the stereotype of an innkeeper, although it looks like a stereotype of an innkeeper who's having a bad week. He's got the kind of wraparound handlebar-esque sort of mustache/beard setup that is somewhat decorative and playful, but there's also stubble unshaven beneath it, and he's wearing an apron, but it's an apron that is clearly not only faded and somewhat ragged, but also stained, but from who knows what. And he is sitting at a table, and he's looking at some slightly glowing coals, and he's got his head in his hand. And he doesn't really even seem to notice that anyone has walked in, perhaps lost in thought, or maybe a wax statue. You don't really know.
I would like to approach him and ask him what the matter is. What Bob said.
In what manner do you approach? Quietly and carefully, or do you,
I want him
harump
to
around?
actually hear me stepping forward and not spook him.
Okay.
So just
As a
saying
ranger,
that-
it's important to ask that, yeah, because you can be quite stealthy. You want to kind of stomp a little bit, or maybe do you want to clear throat knock, or do you want to just kind of walk closer
yeah,
and
I
hope
would
he
like
hears?
to stomp the snow off my boots.
Oh, hello. Don't mind me.
Hello.
Welcome to the end of the road. You can see that he was apparently crying as well, now that his face is no longer covered, and he is quickly dabbing off his apron, or rather, dabbing his face with his apron. And now you realize where perhaps some of those stains have come.
Yeah.
The
No-
discolorations.
I would say no need to hide your troubles. Is there anything I could do to help?
Well, it's good to have guests. That's good enough for me. Please, both of you, come in. Close the door. It's quite cold out. What the heck? Are you looking for rooms? Food? We have food. Drink? We have drink?
We're looking to. What is it? The town's troubles or something?
The town is stuck in winter.
Yeah. Okay, then we're looking to stop this endless winter, seemingly endless winter.
You're adventurers? You could do something about it. Oh, our luck! You're the third group of adventurers to show up so far. The first one, he hasn't been back, and I'm pretty sure the others are not doing well either. But they've been gone over a day too. Well,
Promising.
yeah. He nods. He says, "But that's great. That's great that you're here. You can help.
What
Come in.
troubles
I'll
you,
get you
sir?
fresh. I'll get you some warm ciders." And he goes behind the bar, and he seems to be filling up some sort of a kind of, not really a cauldron, more like a kettle, and then going over to the fire and adding various bits of, well, basically just small shards of wood. It seems like he doesn't have much fuel, but he's going to do what he can to heat up this drink.
I don't have
he-
much in the means of payment.
Oh no! This is fine. If you help us, that's payment enough, more than enough. In fact, I can get the mayor for you, and you can talk about that, and he'll help you out as much as he can. Just wait here. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. And he puts on a coat, and he stumps out, and you can see him kind of fast walking down the street, and you can hear in the distance a shouting of Perry. Harry! The inn is well appointed, although looking around it, there's a lot more room here than there are tables. As if, and looking at some of the floors and some of where the scratches of tables opened and jeering and delight and rowdiness indicate that there are no more chairs in those places. It's likely that he's been burning furniture. These guys are in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble. They're freezing to death here. This is not good. They need help.
And there's no. You said there's not a lot of trees around, right? The inn?
Nope. Didn't see a one.
Fantastic.
Indeed. Is there anything in particular you guys want to look for?
Where he was situated, I just want to know if there's anything around that spot that he's looking at, or if he's just lost in thought.
He seemed to just be staring at the fire, either lost in thought, or hope, or dreams, or who knows what.
Is there anything around the fire?
There's some ash. There's some splintered bits of wood that you suspect may have been a table at some point. Beyond that, and there's a kettle that smells of spiced apples. But beyond that, no, not really. Seems rather plain. Much like the man himself. But decent, well constructed, much like the man himself. Soon enough, you hear some slushing and some more stomping as the doors soon open, and there are two individuals now. One, this innkeeper, and another who is wearing a sash that says Mayor on it. And he comes forward, hands extended, as if to try and shake your hands. Says, "Oh, so good! We're getting so much help! It's fantastic! We really do need it! We're somewhat desperate. I am Mayor Perry Rodriguez. Call me Perry, or Mayor Perry, or Mayor Rodriguez, or Perry. Good. Are you with the other adventurers, or are you separate?"
Separate. We don't know who you're referring to.
That's fine. Well, the reward would go to whomever, or we can split it. We don't have a lot. We're a poor town, but we'll make good, and we can offer more. I don't. Did you see the listing, or you did not see a listing?
Okay.
You did not come here through some sort of job request. You came by rumor.
What's the reward?
35 gold for ending the winter. You know that 35 gold is a paltry sum.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And what's the is the innkeep back? I'm assuming with the mayor.
Yes.
I would just like to ask him his name.
Oh, I'm Yorit. Yorit Toddle.
Okay. Cool. So you know the directions of where the last or both parties went, I'm assuming?
Yes, they went to the mountain. And they point to the back of the inn. So, yep, up the mountain. Definitely, we're pretty sure. And then Yorit is saying, yep, definitely, we're pretty sure the problem's there. And the mayor goes, well, I'm not really sure. I think it's still the damn Targum boys. And they seem to think it was something with the mountain and something about sacks and kidnapping people. But I did a full count. I went town to town, and I checked to see if anyone had been missing people. And no one seems to be missing except everyone that's gone. And I asked if there were any missing animals or pets. And the answer is yes, but they're gone. I wasn't able to tell them. We had a meeting, you understand. But Yorit just kind of puts his hand on the mayor's back and says, "Perry, I think they get the idea."
Missing animals and pets?
The mayor nods.
They're not people. Okay.
Outside, assuming pets? And like
Well,
livestock?
You know, I didn't think to ask. I can go ask. Let me go check. And then Perry turns to go, presumably to knock on every door in the entire town to ask where their pets were normally located when they disappeared. But Yorit kind of grabs him a little bit and brings it back and says, well, you could do that later, Perry. Come on, Perry. Sorry, he's under a lot of stress.
No doubt.
Yorit says that the first fella was pretty sure that it had something to do with the mountain, because that's where all the weather seems to be coming from. And the other group said that they saw creatures going up to the mountain, and they went up to the mountain to find them, and they haven't been back yet. I'm getting kind of worried. They were nice.
How far of a journey, a day's journey, would it be?
To get up to the mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe 20 minutes to get to the base of it, 2 hours to get to the top.
Okay.
It's a small mountain.
And okay, don't really need provisions so much for that.
Unfortunately, I don't have a lot to give. If you give me some time, I can make you some like biscuits, maybe, or some oat cakes. Oh, those might be good.
It's all right, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He nods and Perry says, I've got some dried fruit, I think, that the missus might let me spare, if that helps. We just want to help however we can. We really want this fixed. And Perry says, I'm still fine with murdering the Targrim boys, if that helps. And Yorit goes, Perry, come on, stop it.
Let's not murder anyone here.
It's not really murder, it's more justice. Perry, stop it.
Some provisions, just few, that you can spare would be appreciated. I don't want to take more than you have, because the dire need.
Now, I will ask, did you all both, you knew that you were going to a town that seemed to be suffering from a perpetual winter? Did you bring warm clothing?
Probably not.
How about you,
assuming-
Mercedes?
If we go to a winter town, you bring warm clothing.
Yeah, so did you bring like a warm cloak and all that? You're cozy?
I'm cozy.
Yeah,
Well,
good.
I don't have much to have in terms of anything.
The mayor says that he thinks there might be a couple more things we can spare in terms of warmth. We gave a lot of it to the old adventurers, which if you find them, if you could bring that stuff back, it would be really good too. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, I will be right back, and I will ask everyone where their pets were, and I will get the fruits, and I will get some clothing. And Yorit says, just the fruits and the clothing, Perry. And Perry nods and goes back out in the snow. And Yorit says, I'm really sorry. He's usually quite, well, I don't want to say helpful, but he's having a really tough time with this. Most of the town has left, and, well, most of us are pretty sure we're going to have to leave soon or die. And it's tough because he doesn't have any other skills except for being the mayor here, and he'll basically die no matter what. I'm pretty sure. Yorit nods.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's absolutely useless, just endearingly retarded. Sorry. But just, yeah, he's useless.
What's the town called?
The town doesn't really seem to have much of a name. It's just the Rhombus Valley.
Oh, okay. I can get the
Yeah,
name.
they just seem to just kind of identify as not only the place, but also the thing within the place. Yeah, so it's not the town of such and such in the Rhombus Valley. It's just the Rhombus Valley.
Okay. I assume I'll ask Perry, not Perry, the Yorit. Is there anything else I can do while we wait, or just prepare to go on to the mountain?
Well, is there anything that I could do for you? There's not really a whole lot, unless you've got anything to warm the place up a bit. I could appreciate that, or anything.
Unfortunately, all I have is my bow and other weapon, so I can't help there.
It's probably not good burning, no.
Yeah.
How about you,
Probably need it.
well-cloaked sir? Do you have anything, or madam, or who? I don't really know. Do you have anything that could help?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, right adventurers you are. Okay. Well, the cider seems to be ready, and he's pouring out your cider as Perry comes back with a couple of jars, and now says, "Here you go, rations for a day there, but this should be good." And this is a little bit warmer. It appears to be a rug, but it's something. You can just kind of wrap it around you a little bit as a kind of cloak to get you a little bit warmer.
Sounds good.
Yep, there you are. I can go get the Targrim boys if it helps.
No need.
Yorit gives death stares to Perry. Perry seems to be really set on killing these two children.
Why
He's a bit
is he
strange.
scared?
He's having a bad time. But what would you like to do now?
I guess prepare for the
The mountain, yeah.
yeah. I assume we are prepared. There's not much more that can happen at this destination.
Yeah, it seems that in terms of being prepared for the unknown, you're as prepared as you possibly could be, considering you're walking into you don't know what.
Exactly. So I guess start the journey up the mountain.
All right, heading out. You look in one direction, you look in the other. Yorit yells from the door, "Go that way, then turn left." And he's basically pointing down the road. He says, "When you get to the river, turn left. You'll hit the mountain. Can't miss it."
All right, thank you, sir.
All right. You trudge into the mud and the snow, and you start heading down this road very quickly. The houses end as you enter into what is essentially likely open field through most times, but is now just an endless sight of snow and wind and terrible. It seems that the weather is picking up even more, and you're so glad you got that extra rug. This is definitely helping, although it's quite cold and still quite chilly. You don't want to be out in this for maybe too long, but here you are. Getting to the river, it seems to be quite frozen and leads into a small cave at the base of this mountain, and you can see what might be the starts of a path that go up it. And in fact, if you could make a survival check, Firia. I can't. My mouth doesn't work that way. I'm sorry.
Firia.
Yeah. If you could make a survival check, please.
14.
Okay. With a 14, you can just see the deep trudges through the snow of humanoid individuals. It's entirely possible that these were the tracks of the adventurers that you're following, and they seem to go roughly in the same direction. They go along the river, they go towards the mountain path, and they go up it.
That was all one thing, right? Not several different things? Or was it several different directions?
It's one path.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the path that the footsteps go.
Making sure they didn't go different places and have to guess. Okay. I would assume then just follow.
All right. Would you like to continue to follow this path, Mercedes?
Yeah, I'm following the
Tracker.
The tracker.
All right. As the warmth seeps, as the warmth seeps from your bundled cloaks and rugs, you make your way up the mountain path, following what little you can, and the almost entirely washed away and filled in boot prints through the snow. Going further and further, you get to the point where the wind is gusting quite heavily and quite foggy as well. It's difficult to see the clouds and the snow and the gusts. How close are you walking with each other? If you separate too far, you might lose sight of each other.
Less than a meter, I think. Really close.
All right.
Close enough to me to ask if Mercedes has a spell for helping this. Mercedes, do you have a spell?
What kind of spell? I've got.
I don't know.
Ray of Frost.
Oh, well, that's not
That's about it.
anything better. Okay.
I think Ray of Frost is perhaps the exact opposite.
Yeah. How much do you hate my character?
Realizing perhaps that the wizard is... Maybe mistakes have been made, but we're already here. Let's just follow the tracks. How much further could they possibly go? Going further up, it becomes quite difficult to track. Make another survival check to see if you can follow the path more.
Oh, that was so close. 9.
Total?
Yep.
You think if they keep going in this direction, they kind of go off this way. You think you might be able to pick it up further if you continue to go. It's getting mighty cold, and there's more gusts around. How close are you walking still? Like, give me a distance. I need a distance.
Just in a meter, I think. Is that right?
If, Well, if it's getting colder, and it's getting harder to see, I would a foot or two away.
Yeah, closer than that.
So very close.
But I'm in front, because I'm looking at the tracks, obviously.
Definitely. Yeah, so quite close. Gotcha. Okay. Pushing your way further and up higher. It is so cold and blistering difficult that you're kind of marching through. It's difficult to see the tracks as you're trying to make your way. And, oh man, this is exhausting. This is exhausting work. Because I don't know if you've ever done like a long march through snow.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
They said
Yeah.
2 hours, but that was when there was no snow, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. And you're not even quite sure of a lot of the paths, but if you would please, if you could both make constitution checks. So con checks to see if you can kind of keep pushing yourself.
That's a 20 dice, right? And
Yep,
we
so-
add whatever constitution we've got, so... plus
Yep,
one,
you
so
would
I can
add
say
your
that on.
constitution modifier. Yes.
Okay, alright.
And 14.
14, okay.
I get 20 in total.
Very good. You all are both, you're well fed, you're warm, you're able to continue to push forward and really push forward and continue to trudge and march. Man, this is not fun. Let's see if you can find that path again. You can, either of you could make perception checks to see if you can find the tracks.
Oh, we both can, alright.
Or some kind of tracks. Well, yeah, you can both look. When
Oh
there is
my-
a track, then as the ranger would have a best chance of seeing the tracks, but
No, when the ranger gets a critical failure.
okay.
I get 17 on perception.
17.
13
That's
plus
very
4.
it's
Ranger
pretty
has
good.
failed.
But yeah, as you're just saying, no, I can't see these tracks. No one can find these tracks. You mean those tracks? Mercedes says, pointing ahead. There they are. There's a whole bunch of tracks, quite deep, right there.
Yeah, I can bow my head in shame right now. I'm good with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now that you see it, it's so obvious. Stepping forward, I mean, these are such deep tracks, almost like a rut, almost like almost like they were. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, focus?
No, that would be Furia.
Furia.
Yep, it's Elvish.
16.
It's gonna be difficult. Okay. As you walk closer to these tracks, you feel the snow give underneath you, and you're able to just barely latch onto the snow and hold on to prevent from going into a crack below. Likely a hole that they fell into, judging from the sort of, as you get closer, the sort of drag marks that these deep tracks were making. Mercedes, your ranger accompaniment seems to be falling into a hole within the mountain. What would you like? What would you two like to do? You're just like hanging on the edge of a funnel of snow, basically.
I assume I would like to continue to hold on and try and climb back up.
That's reasonable. If you would please make a strength check to pull yourself out. Mercedes, would you like to do anything to aid?
Okay,
18.
18 is good. You're able to pull yourself off the edge and look into this.
No help to my wizard companion.
None whatsoever, but you're able to pull yourself out and pull yourself over the edge, and you two are able to look in as this sort of, it almost looks like a collapsed in sort of funnel of snow leads into a hole a dark hole that goes down somewhere. And this is clearly where the tracks went. And looking around, you don't see tracks leaving.
Okay, so if Mercedes, you have any abilities for light that could be
I
useful?
don't know if I do. I don't know.
I have 50 feet of hemp rope on me, but I don't know if there's anything to attach that to.
I should be able to cast the light spell.
There's a
shouldn't I?
wizard there.
Alright, cast the
Oh.
light spell now if I can. Yeah.
You might be able to find
Is there any
some
rock
boulders.
surfaces or
Yeah, you might be
something?
able to find some rocks or boulders slightly within the snow. Looking around, yeah. So yeah,
I
you
would
can find
also-
some rocks to tie on.
Okay, and I would like to, test them to see if they would move. Use full
Okay.
body weight because
Okay,
it'd be good otherwise.
all right. Do you want to test them before you tie the rope or after you tie the rope?
Before.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check to tie the rope.
Not terrible.
That's based on your
Find it.
dexterity.
15.
15? Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty decent knot. And giving it kind of a big tug, kind of pushing on it. Yeah, seems okay.
And then test. Yeah, after testing the rope, that's what you're saying. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
And the thing, whatever I tie around doesn't budge at all.
Doesn't seem to. I mean, once the
Okay.
snow's kind of off of it, seems like it's a rock. I mean, it seems
Okay.
well placed and put.
Excellent.
Or stuck in.
Excellent. I will just throw the rest of the rope down the hole, but I'm not going down. Mercedes, now whatever you want to do.
Do we go down? Okay.
Like Pierre's like, I'm not going down. Mercedes.
Well,
Well,
I don't think do any trips at points.
You don't have any light spells or anything.
It doesn't. Do I or not? I don't know.
I
what
don't know
spells
what
do you
you
have?
got.
Yeah.
Your
It just says
wizard
Ray Frost.
magic.
Where's my I don't know where my spells are. I don't know. Never done this
Would
before.
anyone be able to
spells,
aid?
oh, there we are. Now,
Yeah,
all I've
spells.
got is Ray of Frost at the moment, I guess. I don't know.
You should have several spells.
No, just Ray of Frost.
Wait, seriously?
It says that twice. Wait,
So,
absorb
yeah, you
elements?
should-
Oh, I've got
You
absorb
should have
elements.
several spells.
I got more spells than that.
Manage.
Let's see here. Wizard
Okay, so
spell
I've
list.
got 3. So I've got Ray of Frost, absorb elements, and ice. Knife.
Right. On your D&D Beyond thing, when you click spells on the right side, there should be something that says manage spells.
Yeah.
If you click that, and then in there, it should show you like there should be like a drop down that says add spells.
So I can get some more. Okay, so I definitely want light.
Right. And then at the top, it will tell you how many spells you can have. So it should say
Yeah,
cantrips and known spells, and then you can add and remove and read them and so on and so forth.
What is your intelligence modifier, Mercedes?
I'm pretty sure intelligence is. Wait, let me see again. It's +3 at the top.
Okay.
Something
So,
like 60 odd.
yeah, so you start with 6 at first level, and then after that, let's see, choose number of wizard spells from your spellbook. No, not that. So you could have, basically, you can have the potential for a lot of different spells
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm
So
just
basically,
adding-
for now, we'll worry about your spellbook later. We can talk about that later. But for now, pick out 3 cantrips, which are level 0 spells that you can just use as much as you like.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, pick out, let's see, it's for the intelligence modifier plus wizard level. So you're level 2, then you have a +3, so you can pick out 5 other spells that you
Just,
can have ready to cast.
Just as a quick note, so you don't run into the same problem I did, make sure one of those cantrip spells is an attack spell. because I didn't do that last time, and I basically used all my spell slots, and then I couldn't do anything at all.
Oh,
so.
I've got Ray of Frost. That's a cantrip spell. Okay.
That's a really helpful thing when fighting something that's an endless way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. That'll be great. I love it. But yeah, Ray of Frost, and then if I were to make maybe some other suggestions for the cantrip, you've got Ray of Frost as an option.
Yeah, I've got
Dancing Lights
Great
is a potential option.
Bonfire and
Prestidigitation
light.
is my favorite. So which one are you going for? You can pick 3 of those.
So I've got Create Bonfire,
Create
and Light,
Bonfire.
and Ray of Frost.
Create Bonfire?
Yeah.
I
Is
don't
that
think.
a good one?
Well, I don't know if you can use that.
Oh, is it what C means? In the bracket.
Hang on, I'm checking here. Create Bonfire. I don't know if that's open to Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock. Yeah, actually, yeah, you can use Create Bonfire.
Yeah, well, that's what it says here.
C, I think it has to do with the source of the spell.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't have it immediately in front of me. That's because I wasn't looking at all of the content.
Oh, C, Conjuration.
And yeah, so look, up the
I'm
I don't
assuming-
know.
What does alarm do?
It's C is concentration, I think. Alarm creates an alarm around you that if anyone passes through the zone, it sets off an alarm. But for now, you've got, we can talk about that later, but you picked Ray of Frost. I don't want to stop up the game to go through the spellbook right now, but you picked Ray of Frost, and then Create Bonfire, and what else?
Light.
Okay. So you could use Create Bonfire or Light to use Light right now. So you can touch an object no larger than 10 feet in a dimension and cause it to shed bright light in a 20-foot radius.
Oh, any? So we could put on a rock and then drop the rock down?
Touch one object. So what would you like to do? Make a glowing snowball, or that's one possibility. Well, of course, when it breaks, it'll divide in half, but that's not important.
Then you could probably see more.
Well, no, because only one half would be glowing.
So what you do, create a bonfire, right?
Okay, that's what you mean.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, Mercedes?
So I create a bonfire, should I?
If you want.
What do you think, Fury? Light will create bonfire.
I'd say find a pebble or a stone and drop it down.
Alright, there's
See
a bonfire.
The bottom of the hole.
Yeah, alright, I'll do that. I'll create a bonfire and create a bit of light and drop it at the bottom of the pit.
Okay, I like how it went from find a pebble to create bonfire. Okay, so you're gonna go with create bonfire on the edge of the pit, or like how do you want to do that?
I guess on the edge of the pit and then drop it down.
I don't think the bonfire is not necessarily gonna fall.
Please don't burn my rope.
Okay, well maybe that's a bad idea. Alright, I'll go for light then.
You could, if you look over the edge and you can see the ground, you could create the bonfire on the ground there. It's got a range of 60 feet. That's a possibility.
That's assuming you can see the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right. So you're going to take the rope and creep forward a little bit so that you can look over the edge to look down. I'm assuming take the rope. You don't have to. I shouldn't have assumed.
Well, I'll take the rope just in case.
Okay, that's fair. So you
first.
grab onto the rope, move to look over the edge, and you want to put a bonfire at the bottom?
Yep.
Okay.
Just not underneath my rope.
Just not underneath the rope.
Please.
Well, the ropes, it's like a tunnel that goes directly down.
Oh
the
my
bonfire,
goodness.
the rope is going to be in the bonfire. Yeah.
Okay, well, good thing I'm endurance against or resistant to fire. There we go.
Yeah. You can see the fire starting to slowly move up the rope.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down the rope before the rope gets engulfed and destroyed.
So you want to
Take
quickly
the
go
chance
down
on
the
this
rope
one.
into the
Yep.
bonfire while the rope is on fire?
Yes.
You're going to catch on fire. I just want you to know that.
I'm
fine
a
with that?
tiefling. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, I guess.
As long as actually no. Wait. Mercedes, didn't you say you have like absorb elements or something?
I
Can
did
we-
absorb elements.
Maybe
It's-
you do it on
it's-
yourself
It's
and you
got
go down.
self-range, yeah. Okay. Oh, I can cast it, can't I? As I go down.
Absorb elements?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Alright. We'll go down quickly and cast absorb elements.
Alright, so you cast absorb elements on yourself, presumably to
Yep.
absorb fire?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Alright.
See how this goes.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. This is a really strange plan, guys.
Yep.
You
We're
lit
gonna
a
go
fire
with
and then are climbing into it. That's okay.
I
So,
didn't want the fire.
if you would be so kind to make athletics checks to try and carefully climb the rope down while it's on fire, and that
Wow.
you're climbing into a fire.
We could potentially.
How do I
No,
cast?
that sounds
I have
even
to-
stupider. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
I don't think it could be that much stupider than lighting a bonfire and then climbing into it, but go on.
Well, I got 22.
Alright,
Okay, that's pretty good.
So this is for athletics, is it?
Yes, to climb the rope down carefully. Or else,
Alright.
you can just fall into the fire. To be honest, it's a trade of falling damage to fire damage at this point.
I wrote a 6, so not good.
Okay, yeah. So who climbs first?
I guess I can. I'm afraid of my backpack being ignited.
Oh, it will be ignited. All of you will be ignited. You're climbing into a bonfire. You're catching on fire. It is really terrible. Really, really terrible. So, Fira, if you're going to be climbing first, or is it going to be like you start first, then Mercedes is right behind you, or are you going to climb the whole way, and then Mercedes is going to climb, or?
See, I don't want to climb down, but it's a hemp rope, so it's going to cause rope burn.
If you don't want to climb down, then you don't have to. You can always just jump.
Wait,
how many meters?
Yeah, how far does it look?
It looks
We can
pretty
see,
far. In a comparison of meters, maybe more than 10 meters, 30, 40 feet, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay, so break your legs type fall.
Potentially, but there is a lot of snow around, and there is a kind of a slight
But
incline
it's also
to it.
on fire. That's probably melting.
Yeah, it's now on fire. I assure you, the fire would probably be worse. But, whatever.
And how far apart are the walls?
About 5 feet. Yeah, less than 5 feet even.
Less than 5 feet? Is it possible to shimmy down after the fire is gone? Because I could wait it out.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, you could just put out the fire.
Yeah.
Can Ray of Frost put the fire out?
Yeah,
Alright.
you could just
Ray of Frost.
put it out. Yeah, you
Okay.
could lift the rope up a little bit so that it doesn't catch on fire too much more, or use Ray of Frost to put it out, or just let it burn out on its own. It'll only last a minute. So you're
That's
gonna
the
not
rope
climb
they
down
choose.
the fire rope into the fire? You're gonna...
Probably.
Okay. Perhaps as you're just about to go over the edge, you realize, you know what, this is a terrible, terrible thing to do. Let's wait for the fire to go out. Yeah. The fire, soon enough, does go out, and you can toss the rope back down again, and you would like to climb back down now that there is no fire.
Is it destroyed though? Is it going to give way?
Is the fire destroyed, or?
The rope.
Well, the rope, it was... Only the bottom is damaged, but
Okay.
it's on the bottom. I mean, the rest
Okay.
of it wasn't in the fire. Only the bottom is in the fire.
Okay, that seems a lot more fine then.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. I'll just climb down like normally intended.
Okay. So one climbs down and then gets to the bottom, and then the other climbs down, or do you want to climb down relatively simultaneously, one going
No,
first? the other
one at a
going second?
time. One at a time.
Yeah, I'll just go first.
Yeah, one at a
Okay.
time. Don't
Furia,
kill them.
you get to the bottom. It is cut stone, and it's cold, and it's quiet, and it's very dark. There's just a little bit of light coming in from the hole from above, and it
I got
smells
dark
like
vision,
burnt
huh?
hemp. Yep, and it's still quite dark,
Okay.
but you're able to see those things at least. So,
Okay.
would you like to signal to Mercedes to come on down?
Yeah, just
Yeah, I'll come down.
just like that. No, nothing
All
special.
right. Mercedes, you go out onto the rope and begin to climb down slowly. And since you rolled a 6, yes?
Yeah.
All right. Furia, Mercedes is coming significantly faster than you expected. Would you like to do anything? Either to attempt to catch Mercedes or maybe move out of the way? Mercedes seems to be falling. If you could, Mercedes, make a dexterity saving throw, and Furia, you as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, 21.
Dexterity. 20.
Oh, 20.
20, okay.
Yeah, not a natural 20, but 20.
Understood. Mercedes?
No, I only got 7 for dexterity.
Okay. So, good news. Furia, you don't have any problems as you get to the problem, or get to out of the way of Mercedes. Mercedes, you take 11 hit points as you just plummet straight down, sure that this is your death, and land hard on the melted snow that is now just kind of covering mostly like slush on top of rock. It hurt a lot. How you doing hit point wise, Mercedes?
So I got do I have to adjust that? I was only at 12 before, so that means I got 1 hit point.
Yep. You're gonna get along well with Piero.
Okay, so do that.
I will cast Cure Wounds. Using one of my spells. I got 8, so 10 points of healing. And I just want to say, yeah, let that be a lesson. Don't burn my rope next time.
Okay, so both of you have used a spell each, and but other than that, Mercedes and everybody, you're at full health, and you seem to be at the bottom. There's a rope hanging. That's helpful. Yep,
Yeah.
You're back up again. And as I said, you're within a cut stone.
Oops.
I will show you a map of what you can see around you. You're in an area of cut stone, and you seem to be in a hallway, part of which is collapsed. Another part that kind of goes out to the left and right. You're in the bottom box.
Can we see much or
Okay.
not?
You can see this much. If you explore and look into the hallways, you might be able to see more, but it's very dark down
another
here.
spell or not?
If you like, what would you like
Well,
to
you
cast?
have light still.
I got light. I'm casting light. That way.
Okay. On what would you like to cast light?
And just in the immediate general area, I suppose.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
but
it has
you
to be
gotta
on
put
an
it
object.
Oh, it's got to be on an object. Oh, okay. Can we see any objects or not?
Well, you have several with you.
Yeah, you could use something in your pack or whatnot.
Do I have like a wand I can cast it on? Or?
Do you? You tell me. Your character.
Suppose I got a wand. What was it?
You might have a wand or an orb or a staff or a
Backpack.
ring.
Oh
or,
yeah, I've got a staff of frost. Okay, I'll cast light on my staff of frost.
You have a staff of frost? Okay, we'll talk about that later. You cast light upon your staff, and you now have this glowing shaft of brilliance that extends bright light for 20 feet, which is 2 squares, and then dim light for 2 squares beyond that. So you can see now 4 squares in either direction, and you can see that in one, it seems to be a dead end, and in another, it seems to continue off.
So you say it seems to be a dead end. What makes
You
it
can see the
appear that
end.
way?
You can see the end of it. You can see a wall.
Oh,
Not so much a dead end per se, but the hallway.
Yeah. Okay.
And the
so
other
there's no
side,
blockage.
it continues. Well, there is blockage. You can see a wall. It ends. It ends at a wall.
Well, I mean, like, there's no rocks or tunnel collapse or something.
Well, no, but there are large
wall.
rocks that make a wall.
Okay. I would assume just go right, being, you know, right-handed, and I'll choose the right. Yes, I'm like. Anyway, I can walk down the right path.
Is that we're fine with you, Mercedes?
Yeah, I'm just following the ranger.
Okay. Ranger, would you like to make any
Actually,
sort of checks to see?
Just in case, I'm going to pull out my hand axe as a melee weapon.
Okay.
And do perception.
Okay. Roll a perception check, please.
17.
All right. You can see some minor disturbance in the rubble and the various bits of... Because it looks like many of these walls were perhaps covered in some kind of a plaster or decorative accompaniment in some way. There's some rubble and dust and various other things. You can see with a 17 and with the bright light that it looks like it's been disturbed, as if someone or some things have walked to the left.
That means the right path is untreaded.
Potentially.
Mercedes, input.
Sorry.
I can share my knowledge, obviously.
Yeah.
Left path looks like it's been used. Right path, not as much or not at all. Unsure.
Well, I mean, it's a hallway. Presumably, it's been used at some point, but
Yeah,
it
but
certainly doesn't seem
not
to
recently.
be recently disturbed. Yeah.
What
Do you
would
think?
you like to
Meanwhile,
do?
you can see some dust and is that a little bit of blood? Yeah, it looks like blood has gone to the left.
That
just a
doesn't
little
seem
bit.
like a good sign.
Well, you did follow tracks that went down a hole.
Yeah. Someone bloodied themselves.
Almost certainly.
Well, curiosity would say to go right, but left would make more sense.
Yeah, I'm curious about the
we
right
were
play,
following.
right way too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with being somewhat intellectual, not at all, since I'm. Anyway, it makes more sense to go the left path and follow the trail of blood and disturbed dust. Against my
All
better
right.
judgment.
And you're just going to follow the Ranger, Mercedes?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
We can
Now-
find out the right path later.
Do you want to be moving in the way that you did with the innkeeper, where you're kind of stomping along, or do you want to...
No.
No.
I can make a stealth check. It's fine.
If you would, please, both of you, make stealth
We don't know
checks.
what's in here. 15. I would advise me going ahead in this case
Yeah.
of the glowing person.
Yeah, I would just put that out there, is that you
Yeah.
are glowing, so if
and I have dark
something is...
vision, so I can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll be
but
way
what I'm
behind.
saying is that other creatures, if they operate by sight, will likely see the big glowing thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going
So-
to scout ahead.
Yeah, but it's still glowing, is what I'm saying.
Ah.
Like, if you're trying to be stealthy, maybe not being a beacon in the night might
Yeah.
help.
Mercedes, stay here or stay back, and I'll
Yeah.
scout ahead and come back.
I guess I could give the right way a go.
Oh,
Oh, maybe not.
I would prefer you would stay put
Okay.
and not be dead by the time I return. Don't know what's down here.
So, Mercedes, you're gonna stay back and continue to glow like a beacon in the night?
Maybe
I guess-
freaking the night. It doesn't sound good.
I'm just saying, in terms of, like, if you're trying to stealthfully creep up, doing so in a dark room while carrying a very bright light would seem to be counterintuitive. Because anything that it might be looking for you will certainly see you before they hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, you could just choose to turn the light off, and that might contribute to the stealth. You do see, you do have dark vision, so...
Yeah, okay, I'll turn the light off then.
Alright. Turning off the light. You guys are killed it with the memes. You can turn off the light and be creeping down the hallway a little bit more. What was the stealth check you rolled again, Furia? And if you could also, if you're going to be moving, roll a stealth check as well, Mercedes.
Alright, I'll roll a stealth check.
I got
What
17.
17, okay. It's pretty good.
I got 14.
That's pretty good as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Creeping your way further down the hallway, you think you hear a noise. You hear a click. And then some scraping.
Like distant, right? Hopefully,
Distant.
right?
Quiet.
Okay.
Yeah, quite distant, echoing almost. And then you hear a kind of a thunk. And then you hear a oh. Then you hear some bickering and some arguing. It seems just further ahead.
Well, my character doesn't know what that is, so I'm still going to be stealthy about this. Mercedes, stay put. I'm going to scout ahead.
All right. Scouting ahead just a bit further, getting to the corner. Coming into it, you can see basically this much. Put this into the maps.
Should have really asked the innkeeper what these people look like.
Yeah, oh well. But you can see it comes into this large sort of 20-foot by 20-foot room. But we will come back to that momentarily. Alucard, Piero, Finny, if you would unmute, come on back
Yes,
in.
hello.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Hello.
We needed some breathing.
Now that you have gotten this door open, and Piero has gotten himself down to his low hit points again, because that's very important.
Some
if
things
Piero's
never
not.
change.
Well, exactly. Like some people have coffee in the morning, Piero gets bloody. And now that you guys have got that sort of settled in, what would you like to do?
So while they were traveling, did they make any commotion that we could have possibly heard while sorting out with me getting stabbed situation?
What are your passive perceptions?
Perception is
Passive
13
perception.
Mine's 12.
13,
12.
12.
12.
Did you perceive us
Oh.
when you were getting attacked, or
That
by a
would be
trap?
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when they were opening the trap, you guys were mostly listening, and there was through a door. And now that you have a stealth roll of 17, none of their passives were even close to it. They do not hear you creeping up closer, and you do hear them kind of.
Being straight at you.
Okay.
Yeah, the typical, just like, oh, come on, you didn't see the trap? Like, I didn't think to,
Yeah, just start screaming at Finny. You
Yeah,
were
like,
lucky enough for
Finny's
the
just like,
trap.
well, I
It's just
didn't
like,
hear
well,
the trap.
I was listening for it, but you know.
Oh, I'm sure you can listen to a knife getting stabbed.
I mean, you could try. I mean, at least I was trying. Alucard over here. Blah, 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 blah. Just keep bickering.
Hey, it's not my duty to babysit you idiots, alright? Let's move.
Okay, so you're heading out into the sort of larger room that acts as a kind of split and intersection.
Do we have any light source on us at the moment, or are we?
If you like, Vosmik can deliver some light onto someone's shield.
Pull up my shield. There.
Boom! Beacon in the night. Quickly, you can see ahead of you, Furia, as a bright light emanates through the room, and Mercedes, even you can see around the bend as a light erupts. A light very similar to your own, but a slightly different color, It has a slight yellowish, or rather, for sure, yellowish sort of tint, almost golden. So, would anyone like to do anything?
Well, we're
presumably
heading directly towards them, so...
pretty much.
Yeah, you're going directly towards them, and Pierre, you can see that they seem to be moving directly towards you.
Okay, I prepare my weapon, as I have no idea who or what is around that corner, and I am not getting stabbed again.
We don't know
Yep.
anyone's there, really. But...
Yeah,
Well,
but you guys know that there are threats behind every corner. You've been hit by
Sure.
multiple traps and multiple creatures, and Piero is already bloody. So-
Piero has been hit by multiple traps.
Yes.
There's a difference here.
Yes.
Piero-
So the light, if I may, the light coming off Mercedes, they're able to
There's
see.
no light
There's
off
no
of
light.
Mercedes.
Cancelled it. Cancelled
Oh.
He canceled it. The only light is coming off of you, Piero, your shield. And the rest, everyone else can see it, basically.
Okay, well, I mean, logically, we would, now that the trap has been activated and I have poorly been stabbed, we might as well continue on.
But yep, get that out of the system. Might as well just keep on going. In Furia, you can see that these individuals, these bickering
I-
people,
Could I even see them? I mean, if the bright.
yeah, I
shield
mean, they're
is
walking
away?
directly towards you. They're like 20 feet away.
Yeah, I just mean like if it's like
How bright's
headlights.
the light off of the shield? Yeah,
Can
how
I
bright's
even
the
see
light?
their faces and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it lights up the whole area.
It wouldn't be a
I mean,
bad
you can-
light.
Not necessarily their faces,
Okay.
but I mean, it's bright. He's basically like carrying a lantern. It's not that it's a spotlight or anything. It lights up
Okay.
everything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's got a light bulb basically. He's carrying a light bulb.
Okay. I guess, are you... what's a good question? Like, are you the Ventures from... I'm not even going to say the name. Just, are you the Ventures?
Suddenly, a red-skinned, horned creature is ahead, carrying a hatchet right around the corner.
Oh,
You
hell
guys didn't
no.
even see them before,
Ooh.
and they seem to be demanding if you are the adventurers.
Finny raised the crossbow. Bad devil! What do you want? What do you want? I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Ooh.
What?
So we hear the voice, but we cannot tell where it's coming from.
Oh, you can see the person. This
Now,
red-skinned,
yeah.
horned person just came out from around the corner and is talking to you
Ah,
directly in front of you, about 10 or 15 feet away.
We just respond. Who's asking? Who the hell are you?
I think that is honestly, yeah. I demand the red-skinned devil or unlooking person to demand who are you and why do you ask such a question?
We're commissioned to end this winter. If you
Commissioned
were
by
to,
who?
you would know the name of the mayor.
Not commission, but
Oh, the mayor. Shit, we
Good
completely
old
forgot the name of-
Harry.
Yeah, you probably think pretty quickly. Perry double booked the job. Damn it, Perry.
Twin Perry.
Please tell me Perry's not be right behind you. We don't need him here.
Well, at the name of Perry, I loosen and lower the axe or
Yeah,
hatchet.
I'll load a crossbow.
Mercedes, you can see this. You can see the Furia side of this conversation. You don't see the rest. I'm just saying, you can continue to stand there, kind of in the dark, and quiet if you like.
Yeah.
All right.
Pop.
Another individual approaches, but yes, you all can see each other in common light and brightness, and work that out amongst yourselves. Is anyone curious as to who these people are or what's going on?
Well, I mean, if you talk to Piero, or sorry, I cannot pronounce his name properly.
Perry.
Perry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, if you spoke to Perry, then I mean that means he must have came from the town. Now, what brings you guys
What's left
down?
of the town, that is.
What brings you two people into this massive dungeon that we're currently stuck in?
Well, the town
Always
is in
winter.
desperate need.
Explorer always wants it.
Yeah,
Well-
town's in desperate need. They're going to either starve to death or leave. So I'm here to help.
Yeah, fair enough. Perry was
Nice.
pretty desperate.
Can I inquire as to how they got down here?
With a rope.
I fail, kind of.
So,
Hey, welcome to the
create a
party.
way for us to get back out, or are we all now stuck?
The rope's still hanging.
At least we have an exit then.
Can you
Yeah,
show
we do
us?
have an exit now.
Can you show us where you put this rope?
I'm assuming where you fell based on the blood that was away from it.
There's a lot of blood around here. To be fair.
Yeah, gotta
It looked like
blame
someone
that one
fell.
on Piero.
Blood in Piero is like water and earth. It's
Well,
everywhere.
to be fair, Alucard also delivers a lot of blood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
In a
yeah,
different
yeah.
way.
Luckily, it's not mine though.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
whose blood is
Mostly
it? Actually?
Piero.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, whose blood are you using?
Yeah.
for that?
Yeah, does
He
he
just collects it from Piero, I assume.
Yeah.
The way I envision my character working is it's kind of just conjured out of like alternate dimensions. It's just conjured out of an abyss.
So all
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
picturing now is just Alucard's character with a couple of glass vials just being like, ah yes, blood for the blood god.
Well,
Just
the way I-
collecting it while it drips off of Piero.
The way I picture it, as good as that is, there is something called the Blood War. Have you guys heard of the Blood War?
Ooh, no, I have not.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
So there is, and I'll touch on this in the lore a little bit. So there are, devils, obviously, and there are also demons. Demons and devils are separate in the universe, and that devils are, in many ways, like kind of the fallen angel aspect for some of them. Others are just mortal creatures that became especially twisted. They're individuals that have been fighting demons so long that they became more demonic to fight them. Demons coming from another universe and are trying to destroy like the material plane and all of the different gods and various other things. So there has been a war that has been continuous for about as long as the universe has existed between devils and demons, and it is non-stop and endless and destructive. And they call it the Blood War. I always imagined that Alucard had some sort of a pinprick-esque opening to the blood war, and he's just got this demon devil blood slurry that he can just conjure at any moment, where it's terrible, disgusting blood that comes from this infinite destruction.
Wow, that actually
Works for me.
That
sounds
works pretty well. I like the idea of that.
Yeah,
pretty
well, I mean
bad.
that's in universe, I think it works kind of well.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah,
So
It is a lot better explanation than just using my blood. It seems.
I still
Both
like
are
the
viable.
I still like that sometimes Alucard is just like get a couple of sponges out and get it off of Piero, collect some of the extra. It's just like, why do you have so much blood? Look, don't worry about it.
I can never have too much.
Anyway, so what do you guys want to do? Where there's a rope, presumably, that is still there and perhaps steady and possibly even able to be climbed out on. So that's a potential good thing.
I feel we should at least exhaust all of our options down here before we head back to the town.
Oh yeah, I wasn't thinking about leaving. I was just wondering if they had perhaps created us an exit should we need it. So
And
because prior to them coming down, we were kind of fucked. We were stuck
Yeah.
here. So
At least
Do
we
you
have a
guys suspect that the source of the winter is coming from this dungeon? Or
we
I
have
think
our
There's a possibility.
suspicions.
I would say that we don't know, but we have
Suspicions.
we have a good feeling that it's coming from here because there's just too much weird shit happening in this one location.
Even our previous explorer, Perry might have mentioned the first adventurer.
Somebody holds up this head.
Yeah, we found this unlucky droid here.
Yeah, this guy.
Uh,
to quote.
did you do that to him?
No.
No,
We found him like this. Yeah,
we
found him
swear
like
it
this.
was kobolds and not Finny.
Okay, good.
Yeah, well, yeah. Don't worry. We dealt with Finney's cousins. So
Oh,
Yikes.
yikes!
To quote Destiny, we came down here as a group of 9 and got picked off one by one.
Saw the light from my best friend. Anyway.
Funnel into some type of crystal.
All right, that's a different game.
Close enough.
Can't do it.
Is
Man,
it,
I will invoke destiny if you make me. I will do it. It'll get weird up in here. I got deep into that lore. It'll happen.
It's good lore. It's good lore.
Anyway,
Is it alright if we join you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are you able to heal? Because I got a massive stab wound on my side right now.
and he points and then he goes, "Oh no, wait, no, this one." And he points to a different one. Wait, is this one or is it?
Yeah, if you look,
I'll be honest, I'm really hurt.
if you look, I think you can still see the knife.
Out of game would be how wounded?
Well, I mean,
Like HP low.
well, I mean, so you want to ask literally out of character how?
Yeah.
fucking
how
hero,
on this
right?
thing?
You could always
I'm not
choose to not do it that way. It's up to you guys. You could,
I mean,
I'm okay with minor metagaming, but if you don't, that's fine too.
well, why not do a medicine check? Because I mean, all I know is I've just been stabbed on the side. I don't know what that knife was covered in.
I just assume that me knowing out of person would know how severe it looks in game.
Yep, well, make a medicine check to see if you could know.
It's
Yeah.
being held together with hope and duct tape.
They say medicine check? Okay.
Yes.
Medicine. Medicine.
Yeah.
20.
All right. Yeah, he looks pretty messed up. I mean, Piero, in terms of,
I am missing basically half of my hit points.
yeah, I mean, he looks bloodied and wounded. He doesn't look like on death's door or anything,
Yeah.
but he definitely looks injured.
I have a question. So spells I can know 2, right? Do I have to one of each every day, or can any combination?
So I think you can know more than 2.
Oh,
Hang on, let me look at Ranger 5e. So at level 2, yeah, actually no, you can only know 2. So
yeah.
but
I
you
use
can
the
cast
power
them
twice?
in. Yeah, you can cast them in any configuration you want. So 2 of one or 1 of each. Yeah,
Okay,
2 of
then
one
I
or 1 or 2 or
will.
whatever.
I'll cast heal. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Cure wounds. Oh, fantastic! 3 points.
It helps.
Anything? I mean,
It's not
Yeah.
just Piero's healing that doesn't do anything. It's just anything against Piero.
Yeah. Well, at
Hey,
least
hold
it's
on,
damage,
hold
obviously.
on.
The damage
Hold
against
on.
Piero does fine.
I gave him a 7-point hill last time. That
Oh,
was
did you?
pretty decent.
Oh, I thought it was lower than
last
that.
Nah.
yeah. Well,
Robert
remember
Max.
that I was at 15, and then I got stabbed with a 7.
Right. So I thought it was less than 7 for some reason.
Not thankfully. Alrighty, well. So now that he has cast that spell, and I'm feeling lightly better,
Probably more trusting as well. That's good.
I mean, you wouldn't exactly cast heal on a stranger, let alone
Yeah.
You look like
This is
you were
sort
in-
of a strange horned creature. Like it has been unusual to see a tiefling, and especially down here. I mean, everything has been a trap so far, but I mean, it's healing, so it's either a really good trap or, vice versa.
alrighty.
Playing the long
Uh,
Yeah.
So yeah, so before you guys came along, we explored the majority of. We were just coming back from this path, and we were just about to head down the path that you probably came from. You probably saw that the bright side,
The
or
right path.
The other side wasn't disturbed so much.
Nothing but pain and misery on this side.
And blood. A lot of blood.
I
Lots of
expect the
blood.
same on the other then.
Don't forget the shit. There was
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of
and
shit
poop.
to the left.
Lots of poop. Vosmig fell on that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, he did, yeah.
Oh, gross.
Don't worry.
Who knows how long it's been there for?
And what kind exactly? Like,
Kobold,
Human
kinds.
Yeti,
All kinds.
who knows?
oh, okay. The
Yeah,
fun
but-
kind.
And pick a name. Any name and you'll probably find it.
Lovely big mixed bowl of poop.
It was a mixed bag,
A
actually.
mixed bag, if I put.
Exactly.
Technically.
Yeesh.
Alrighty. So yeah, if you want to, you can come along and just go back to explore the other path. Whatever may be hiding there, who knows?
I guess if we come along, what's the share of the loot reward?
Well, we still gotta find what's going on here. And
Yeah.
Finny gets all gold found, no matter what.
Finny
Yeah.
gets stuffed into a bag full of shit.
Try
All
me.
rewards get split.
Try
Oh.
me.
I think that's fair. All rewards get split evenly. If you put in your fair share of help, you get your fair share of reward.
and if Finny is
Osmic
dead by
gives
the
a
end,
thumbs up.
if Finny is dead by the end of it, well, he doesn't need his split.
I mean, in all fairness, I'm not the one that's nearly died about 100 times, just saying, you know?
I will never die.
Are you rooting for each other to die?
Kind of.
Not openly.
Yeah, not
Not openly, okay.
10 gold on Piero dying first. Who wants to take this bet?
God damn it.
Maybe we should start. What's it called? Is it a tontine? It's like
Yep,
where everybody puts
tontine.
money into a box, and then the last one alive gets it.
Ooh.
Yep, Tontine. That one's fun.
We should do that.
I agree.
Alright. So,
So,
now that we
would
made
you
our
like to would you like to begin heading down the right corridor now?
Yeah, we'll start heading down that way, I reckon.
And
Cautiously.
Okay.
I just
Cautiously.
realized we never did technically ask our two new friends what their name was. I mean,
we can discuss that. With...
Yeah,
Yeah.
walk and
Yeah.
talk.
while we're walking, yeah.
I'm Theria. Wow, I put a different earbud in and I can hear my own voice. It's terrible. Just not from Discord, just... Anyway,
And how about your companion?
the wizard that hired me, I guess, in a sense, for no pay, Mercedes. I'll head for the...
So you're able to get towards going further down the right path. You soon find yourself at another intersection. Passing the rope, by the way, which you see that the rope is oddly singed, and it's whatever, you know, it's a rope. It's there. It's hanging, which is good. But passing that,
Don't ask.
passing that, you come into an intersection, and you can see to the south that the path ends quite quickly. The wall is crashed in, as many of the others have. And looking to the north, you can just see at the extent of the light that the northern path crashes in, and you can see that there are more windows in the walls. And this is likely the sort of similar chamber that you had found before, and indeed, going and looking through some of these openings in the walls, you can see again the large frozen waterfall in the sort of pit area below. This is about what you have explored so far.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a waterfall?
There's
So
a
the blue-
frozen. So this
the blue
pit,
stuff is the,
Yeah.
the waterfall. Alright.
seems to be a large sort of courtyard that there are breaks in the wall that you can look down into, and it goes down some distance. And underneath this, down there, is a large frozen waterfall that seems to be going into something in the way of a pool that is also completely frozen. And it's just there. You know, it's just there. You could always climb down to it if you want, or jump down to it if you want. It looks like it is a pretty fair distance, and it also looks like underneath, or rather underneath where you are, it extends. It goes off in directions, but it is rather dark, so you're not quite sure what's down there. The rest of the party might inform you that they found stairs, but the stairs are also frozen with a wall of ice.
Quite a lot of it, actually.
And none of you have any heat-based stuff?
There was a lot of ice to melt through.
Yeah.
That would have taken quite some time.
I don't have rope. I left it over there.
Pretty sure most of us have rope.
Okay.
So what would you all like to do? The hallway continues to the right, I'll add. In fact, that's not... There are some things that you did see, actually. There's the intersection with the pit trap.
Yeah, we went up
top
to
right.
the top right of that.
Yeah, let me make sure to include that.
Presumably, if we carry on across the bottom and then north, we'll hit that pit trap again.
Yeah. Another opportunity
assuming-
for Piero to die.
There is-
Well, I mean, maybe maybe if we can continue straight, if we're looking at where we just came from, if we keep looking going straight, there might be another path.
Perhaps.
Or then again, maybe another pitfall.
Yeah, I'll just keep going forward. If I'm the one in front, I'll definitely be using my cane, tapping on everything, trying to listen out for a hollow tile or something. If there is another pit trap somewhere.
Okay. Going along, tapping on the ground, trying to feel for pit traps, beside Piero, glowing with his shield. Continuing along this hallway, you see yet another hallway that goes off to the south that is also crashed in, similar to the two previous that you had gone through, although there's still no hole in the ceiling or a rope like the first. And you're able to see further down into the courtyard. It continues to go lower, and then you soon come to an intersection, and you can see that this is likely what connects to the pit trap above. And just cutting it out because I know you guys like an update with every single square you move.
Just like to know where we are.
Yeah. And so you've come to this final intersection at the sort of bottom right of the courtyard. You can see that it goes north. Almost certainly that connects to the pit trap above. And you can see that the hallway to the east goes, but at the end of the light that the shield gives, you can see that there is a wall. But you can also see that it looks like it goes north. Might be another hallway there. What would you all like to do? You can go north towards what is almost certainly a trap that you have already sprung, or you could go east to explore it a little further, or you could climb down, or you could just go back, get on the rope, or you could invest in the tontine and then murder each other. You could eat the head of Joseph Garza. You could go finally get those damn Targrim boys. You have so many options. What do you guys want?
Targrim murder.
Oh, yeah.
Perry's on your side.
Hell yeah. Me and Perry going and kicking down doors.
I reckon we keep going to the east tunnel, since beforehand we did get stopped by that pitfall trap. We never did find what was towards those past that intersection because of that bloody pitfall.
Yeah, we'll keep heading east, again being cautious of the ground in front of us.
Alright. Heading east, being especially cautious and careful. The large bunch of you continuing. You soon... Do you peek around the corner, or do you just kind of walk around it, or... How do you want to handle this intersection?
The small one should be less visible.
Yes, Finny is almost certainly less visible. Even though it's very well lit.
I'll peek my head around, see if I see anything. You know, not putting my full
You
body around the
see-
corner, but...
You see another door.
Dun dun dun!
Yes, this is a pull door. They have been so far not very helpful or friendly to you. But there it is, standing right in front of you, almost daring you to open it.
Well, Bosmic, Piero, either or, Alp.
Yeah, I
You
guess.
know the drill by now.
Vosmik steps forward.
Can I
And-
cast Detect Magic on the door?
Sure.
Just to make sure.
Okay. Casting Detect Magic, you do not see anything magical about the door. No auras, but Detect Magic will last for the next 10 minutes. So if you encounter something magical, I can let you know, but the door seems to be mundane.
Okay, so make a perception check, see if there's anything out of the way. Noticeable, look up this time. Not that I
Sure.
should know that, but you know.
If you would, please roll a perception check.
So
20.
It seems like a big door, and it likely opens towards you, maybe? But it's kind of tough to tell. You're not quite sure on the hinges, but anyway. So, Finny, mounting Vosmik, going up, which is quite an impressive display of teamwork, and they're able to just bring themselves together into this large mega configuration. Moving forward, Finny.
Yeah, I'll
Would you like?
cautiously open the door.
Okay.
I back
There's
away.
there's something strange this time. Where before, everywhere else, you had grabbed onto these big rings to be able to open the door, they've been quite cold. And some of them, in fact, have been bitterly frosty cold, especially the ones with the room with the portcullis that has a large opening that leads into the above. But this one actually feels kind of warm.
wait, that's. I was gonna say, I thought if it was gonna be freezing cold, then that could have been a sign maybe of where those two Yetis we never did find could have been, but warm.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's more worrying, it being freezing cold or it being boiling hot or warm. Anyway, so.
Probably warm.
Yeah.
Something it's inside.
I mean, considering this whole place thus far has been an icebox, the fact that that's warm implies there's something inside there that's been constantly running, or a fire that's constantly lit.
Who knows?
Well, there's basically something constantly producing heat, because it doesn't just warm. Like, if you thought maybe something had used it recently, it's not going to warm up suddenly after like one or two uses. So there's something in that room that's generating some form of heat.
Can I roll perception? You'd see if I hear anything through the door at all?
Sure. Yeah, roll a perception check.
That is a 12. That's not that good.
You do not hear anything on the other side, putting your ear to it. But what you do notice is the door is somewhat warm. Much like the handle itself. Feels kind of nice. Like you want to just cuddle up to a nice warm door, you know? I mean, you've been cold for so long. Even when you guys lit a fire, that was a fire literally made of different creatures' shit. Even that was not very warm.
So I say,
Next
on the
minute.
door, run away.
Next minute, it's a mimic door. Swallows us all, TPK.
Actually, can I, like something warm on the other side where we've been dealing with a lot of cold? Can I possibly use my divine sense to see if it's anything possible evil? I mean, someone generating fire, that's not exactly a good sign.
Yeah, you can open up your divine sense.
Could be.
When opening it up, Let me check. Let me remember. Divine sense, what you can sense with it. I know there's like detect good and evil kind of thing, but I think it can let you detect other things beyond just simple good and evil.
Celestial,
Paladin,
Fiend, or Undead.
yeah, Fiend or Undead as well. Divine sense. Register senses noxious odor, powerful good rings, etc. as an action. Awareness. You know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover.
Am I a fiend?
I don't think you are.
Actually, yeah, that would be interesting. What technically counts as a fiend?
Tieflings are friends, not fiends.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally the answer I found. The official answer, Paladin Divine Sense. Here we go. So, yeah, from Jeremy Crawford, the director of rules for 5e, that a tiefling is a humanoid, not a fiend, so therefore escapes notice of Divine Sense.
Cool.
So, tieflings are friends, not fiends.
So I don't mess anything up.
Sounds like you. Sounds like you got it.
As you open up your senses, you don't detect anything untoward. You don't detect anything celestial, nor fiendish, nor undead within 60 feet of you. Of course, it could be something behind total cover. If there's something behind the door, there's a possibility that you would not be able to detect it.
Yeah, the door would be total cover, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But currently, you do not detect anything. Assuming none of you guys have any secret identities that you haven't informed me of.
Yeah.
Finny is actually an embodiment of Asmodeus.
Oh, dear God.
That would be celestial.
Oh, is that Celestial, is it?
Yeah, Celestial. I just stare at Finny and just be like, oh, hell no.
Wait,
I mean, that's fine. I'm fine with that. But anyway, you detect nothing. The detect magic has indicated a mundane door. The divine sense has indicated not a zombie door. And the ear test has indicated slightly warm, but also quiet.
Okay.
I say we just open it like other doors, I'll unlatch it and make sure it won't relatch itself, and then...
just a quick cue. Does my divine soul fuck with that spell of his at all?
Your what?
Well, my character is like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm a divine soul, as in I'm kind of like blessed by the gods in a way.
I
don't think it does, because you're not technically celestial. You just have a spark of divinity.
Right.
Like it's akin to a cleric. Like Bosmic also doesn't set it off.
Yeah, like a hint of good. That's fair enough. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't think you're full fallen angel, like the divine soul. I think it's, yes, you're divine in that sort of a soul, but I don't think it counts as being celestial.
that's understandable.
So,
Okay.
being a ranger, I want to move towards the back and around the corner for cover, because I don't know what's coming.
Might I suggest Piero move back a little bit too?
Yeah, I'll be back too.
Every door has nearly killed Piero so far, so...
I do like how things have changed. It's usually only me that's sitting at the back, so...
If we are opening this, if I could open it the same way as we've opened a lot of other doors, I'll unlatch it to a point where it won't relatch and then move back as well.
Then get a big stick.
Okay.
No, I don't
Do you want to have Bosmic pass the rope up to you, Finny, so that you could just put the rope through so that you can be ready to pull it?
Yeah, it's a pull door, not a push. That's right.
Yeah, it is a pull door.
Yeah, we'll loop the rope through. I won't bother tying it. We'll just do what we did with one of the previous doors up near the north, the kobold one, I think. Just loop it around.
Okay. Yeah. Now that you've had that wonderful idea, you're able to do it pretty easily. And passing up the rope, you're able to turn it. This door. Oh man, this door. So it's entirely possible that the others have been especially tricky because maybe the temperature. But as you move this, it's just so smooth and quiet. It's so easy to open this. It barely takes any effort at all. You were ready to really push in on it, but it just turns so perfectly.
Can I be ready with my crossbow, just in case something lunges out?
Sure. So you've got the rope in it, you've turned it, and you almost think it's broken at first, but no, it's doing it. And in fact, the door is so loose that you can actually pull it almost a little bit just yourself. But the rope is through it. So do you want to get off of Vosmic's shoulders and then Vosmic pulls, or do you want to be on Vosmic's shoulders while he pulls?
I'll get down.
Okay.
Back up a little bit and get ready to crossbow.
You get down, you ready the crossbow. Everyone hides except Vosmic.
Both of us.
And he looks back at everyone else who is basically just Scooby-Dooing around this corner. And he gives a nod, and he does holds up his hand, gloved hand, and does the 3, 2, 1 kind of bounce with his hand, and then gives a pull on the door, which quickly opens, revealing on the other side a dark chamber. Doesn't seem that there is anyone within it, as far as you can all see. And Mercedes, because it has been within 10 minutes, your detect magic goes haywire. There is magic within that room.
Ah. Fuck.
You can see a magical ring
Oh.
kind of on the floor. Now, when I say ring, I mean like a circle. Not to say an object that could be picked up, necessarily. And you can tell in terms of a school of magic, it would be something along the lines of perhaps abjuration. I always forget the name. I always forget which schools are which. But yeah. Anyway, that's what you guys see. No, not abjuration. Sorry, evocation.
I mean, there's the source of your heat then, because magic would generate heat.
Yeah, there's a slight bluish glow as well. And the rest of the room within it, there's it's a substantially sized room, maybe 30 feet across, but a little over 10 meters, and in terms of depth, nearly twice that, but not. You can see that there's a door on the other side, but within this room is a large, not quite a cauldron, more like have you ever seen a crucible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a crucible. It's like a large crucible.
Does this look
That
like some
is-
kind of a forge or something? Or
Potentially. But you do see some more of those large levers and some sort of a gantry system in the ceiling, rope controlling it. But you do see at least one of these crucibles is here, and it is above the glowing circle. And it's quite warm in here. Like it's comfortably temperatured, which is very different from the rest of everything that you have run into.
I suppose if nothing's come bounding out of room to attack us, make our way
Send
in.
the wizard.
Hmm?
Send the wizard.
Okay. Well. So, can we see if the other door is open? Just
The other door appears closed.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are seemingly no windows in here, but there are a couple of different tools, and it seems like it's rather large. In fact, looks like a leather cloak is hanging up, and there's some large, almost like spear-like things made of some kind of dark metal. Lots of various tools line the different areas, but beyond that, there's a lot of open space, which is strange. But kind of, as I said, sort of in the middle, almost the dead center of the room, is this blue glowing circle and a crucible hanging just above it, and then some levers, presumably controls of some kind.
Do the levers have any like texts or anything on them?
Well, maybe make a perception check to try and read them. If
It's
it has it.
screaming portal at me.
Like a perception check as well.
Yeah, I'll make a perception check on that.
Ooh, 11.
15.
Okay. An 11, you don't really see much. With a 15, looking from, pretty thoroughly over it, you don't see any text.
Do these look like the same levers as the water control ones, or?
They look identical in style to the water control ones.
Can I? Would it help if I made an Arcana check to see if I can perceive as to what this circle might do or what it's being used for?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
And
you could as well, Mercedes, if you like.
Yeah,
17.
Would a history check do anything or not?
Perhaps you could maybe recall if you've seen anything like this before. That's a possibility.
Well, I'll do an Arcana check too.
Okay. 17 is pretty good.
If I recall, last time we came across the same handlings.
I got 18.
All right. Go on, Piero.
I was just thinking, are there possibly also any other writings along the wall? Because when we were looking at the lever beforehand, there was some writing on the wall as well.
As you look up on the walls, there doesn't seem to be much in the way of writing. No.
Okay.
But with a 17 and an 18, as you all look at this circle, this is almost certainly, because as you kind of get closer to it, it gets warmer, and you can kind of feel the air around it is quite a bit warmer. And you imagine that if you cross its threshold, it'll likely be significantly even more warm, and it's entirely possible that this could even get cranked up even more. But this seems to be... No, it doesn't seem to be a different plane of existence necessarily, or if it does, it goes someplace very hot. But it does seem to be, through some matter, producing a tremendous amount of heat.
You said the crucible was hanging above it, correct?
Correct.
Maybe it's starting to warm up the crucible, to melt whatever is put in it. Quite possibly.
Possibly.
If that's the case. Not sure.
Who doesn't care about their hands?
Vosmik thinks to put up a hand, but then puts it down.
Vosmik, jump in a circle.
Vosmik makes a wisdom saving throw, and rolls a 20 and does not go into the circle. But he considers throwing Finny in, makes another wisdom saving throw, rolls a 1, and he does not throw you into the circle. But he does say, why don't you go in? Be quick. Come right out, we'll pull you out.
No, I'll pass. I do have the bag of ball bearings still. Can I grab another one of these? Eventually I'll run out, but it's a bag of 1,000, so I've got quite a few left. Can I chuck one of these ball bearings into the circle, see if it does anything to it at all?
I get cover behind Frank when he does this.
Sure. Do you reach in and place it in, or do you try
I'm
to throw it?
gonna
Roll it in?
Yeah,
or...
I'll try and roll it in from the outside.
Okay. Let's go with a dexterity check. I don't know if you ever played marbles, but you're trying to carefully flick it in so that it stops within the circle but doesn't go out of the circle.
That is a 14.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah, you're able to get the ball bearing kind of in there, and you can see as it just kind of clacks, clink, 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 on the stone a little bit, and then kind of finds a crevice in one of the cut areas of the stone, and it just sits there.
If we fuck around with the levers, we can see if it glows hotter or something, I guess.
Yeah, actually, it would be interesting how this crucible would technically be controlled by the levers.
Actually, how many levers were there? Was that stated, or?
It was not necessarily stated, but
How many are there?
there are 2.
2 levers.
Yeah, there are 2 levers there. And if anyone would maybe roll an investigation.
An investigation.
That is an 8.
Okay.
23.
Damn.
Pretty good. With a 23, you're able to kind of get an idea. Sorry, the crucible is hanging from, is within some sort of grappling mechanism, hanging from chains, from another thing well above in the ceiling that seems to be running in a track, and the track seems to kind of curl around. It's on like almost a wishbone-esque shape to it, or more like a horseshoe, in that there are doors that are like plates and panels that are likely covering doors. It's likely that this goes in or comes out of one of those openings. And you don't know if it's supposed to do something here and then do something there, or if it does something there and then it's to do something here, but you can see that it likely moves and tracks and goes into a room that's beside.
Interesting. So,
And
Anybody want to make any suggestions, or?
I thought you were going to fuck around with the levers and see if it changed anything. I thought that was the plan.
Sure.
I'm quite tempted on these levers, honestly. See what they do.
it's likely, judging from... I'm sorry, could you say again?
I was just gonna say, instead of testing it on something in the circle that's metal, should we test it with something that's organic or wood or something?
Could do.
You could. But I would just add that judging from the mechanisms, that Piero can guess that one of these levers probably activates whatever movement of this crucible, so get it to move one way or the other. And then the other one probably controls it going up and down, judging from the chains and the hoisting sort of mechanisms on the whole thing. So one probably controls the up and down, one probably controls the forward or backward.
Okay. I mean, so it's only purely positional. I mean, unless we really want to mess around with the crucible, really doesn't make sense to mess it around. I mean, it could possibly mess with the spell or the arcana.
Could lower it and see if anything's in there.
Something in the crucible, right? And then something happens. Like, what is the point of it?
Yeah, this crucible seems to be made of some sort of a black material, and it is, just to add, I mean, this crucible is massive. It's like 4 or 5 feet tall, and it's suspended off the ground quite a ways, well above where any of you could look into it. But maybe if you could lower it, or if you could jump on top of somebody's shoulders and look in, you could. But the crucible is directly over this circle, and you would have to almost go into the circle if you were to peek into the edge.
So we could fit a Finny in it, right?
Almost certainly, assuming that it is open and that there's open space and that it's not too thick walled, you could almost certainly fit at least a full Finny. In fact, you could fit a large portion of any of you in it.
Nice.
In fact, the entirety if you mulched yourselves properly.
Based on the fact that you said that, you know, this is quite a dense thing and we wouldn't be able to see it, but the controls have an ability to maneuver it. Why don't we try to maneuver it out of the circle? Perhaps if we can bring it down and out of the circle, try and look in it.
Makes the whole room more easy.
Yeah.
All right. So, who wants to go first? Keep in mind, these are large actual pulleys. The process of pulling them would take a combined effort because they're much like the doorknobs. They are massive.
Should we do what we did with the previous ones? I'll climb up, make sure I tie a rope around it so it's locked in place. I'm guessing it's like the squeeze handle one, then you pull it.
Yep.
Like the others.
Yeah, there are the squeeze handle ones. I'll add two. Where previously, the ones that you had found in the iced stairwell, they were at different angles. Both of these are vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what happened last time though?
We bent it.
We did all this, and it did nothing. It didn't fucking move.
That was also in a really, really cold room, and chances are, whatever mechanism it controlled, it was frozen solid. I'm guessing, anyways. But
I mean, we can give it a try. But I just have a distinct feeling it's gonna go the exact same route where it just doesn't fucking move.
We might as well try. Yeah. So I'll try and tie a rope around it to lock the squeezing mechanism in place, and then go from there, I guess. On both levers.
On both of them at the same time?
No, I'll get up, do one, and then get up, do the other, and then we can pull them as need be.
Okay. You got Cosmic's rope and your rope, so
yeah.
So you've got two levers, as I said. In terms of, say for instance, if you were to be facing the wall that the crucible may be moving into or out of, there's one on the left and one on the right. Which one would you like to try first?
Based on Piero's understanding of these, can he assess which one moves it up and down and which one moves it left and right?
There seems to be no indication. The switches don't really even seem to control anything visible. Whatever they control must be below, while the mechanism must be above. It certainly must be quite complicated, but there's no real indication of which will do which.
Right, okay.
That's right.
Pull the left one first, see what happens.
Yep, fuck it.
Yep, I reckon left one as well.
Yeah, left is
Okay.
always right.
Would you like to push it or pull it?
Where is it sitting at the moment? Is it sitting in a just
Directly vertical.
I reckon let's pull it towards us.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
You set up onto the lever. You've wrapped it so that it is unlocked, and you are ready to pull. And it doesn't take much effort. You're able to begin to pull it, and you can feel resistance. And it moves, and you hear a clung as it seems to have gone into something in terms of a setting. And do you want to keep pulling?
Hold off, see what happens, I guess.
Nothing seems to occur. It might be that you have to let go of the handle, or maybe it has to move further.
Actually, maybe, yeah, let's ease up the rope, see if it has to click into the position for it to activate.
So do you want to shimmy back up and take the rope off?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. You do so. Nothing seems to occur.
Maybe both of them. How close together are these two levers? Are they close enough that like a giant creature could grab both at the same time and control them, or?
They do, but they look, perhaps if you were a giant creature, maybe shoulder width apart, as if one is controlled by one hand and the other is controlled by the other.
Perhaps we move the other one as well first before we keep messing around with one left.
I mean, we have 2 extra people as well now.
Fair point. We could, split up party a
We
little
could
bit.
get-
Some people
yeah,
on
we
one,
could get-
some people on the other.
Furia and Mercedes pulling one, and then me and Piero pulling the other one. And Finny can stand there like a conductor guy and tell us what to do.
All right.
Like
So
you
would
said,
you
yeah.
like?
We'll have Piero on one, Vosmic on the other. Split up the 2 strong dudes onto each lever.
Okay. So you tie the rope up again. Now remember, the one on the left, it already had one click, one clung,
Yeah.
one different position. Do you want to pull the right one to get it even, or do you want to push the left one to make it even with the right one before you move them both?
Let's push the right one where it's even to the left.
Well, you move the left one first. So you want to pull the right one back one. Imagine in terms of pluses or minuses, the left one is at -1, while the right one is at 0.
Yeah,
Let's bring the right one to -1.
Yeah, we'll move that one down one.
Okay. Moving the right lever to -1, giving it kind of a pull. It just as before, you feel some resistance. Feels like a little harder resistance than the other side. Want to keep pulling?
Could be old, or could maybe the mechanic might break. What do you?
Try pushing maybe? See if we can push it back to like position 1 rather than 0.
So you want to try to pull it? You want to push it to +1 instead of -1.
Yep.
I mean,
Just see if it's got more or less resistance being pushed instead of pulled.
As you push on it a bit, it feels like, well, one, you lose a lot of leverage as opposed to pulling a rope from the top. You're kind of pushing at the base, unless you want to go to the other side and pull with the rope.
And if there's enough room on there, yeah?
Yeah, plenty of room. You can go to the other side, you're pulling with the rope there. You bring it to the point where, again, it seems to be moving a little bit, but you get to that same level of resistance. The other one had already clunged over. This seems to be holding more. Do you want to keep pulling past that threshold? I'll remind you, I think in the last one you broke your rope.
Oh, I thought.
But it's nowhere near that hard yet.
Pull a bit harder, I guess.
Where are we at currently?
You're at -1 on the left and 0 on the right still. And you're in the in terms of the map, or at the... Okay, yeah. -1 and 0. And you were trying to move the right one to -1, but it seemed to require more force than the other one did. And then you tried to pull it to 1, and it seemed to still require more force than the other one did.
Did we ever release the handle for the left side?
You did. Yeah. You did release the handle, and it didn't seem to do anything.
I'm wondering if the reason the other one is more stiff is because it's out of sync with, like, the left one. Maybe if we put the left one back to 0, but then move them both at the same time.
Oh, we could.
Yeah, possible.
Alright. So we're going to move the last one back to 0?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically reset.
Let's put both at 0.
Okay. Now with a little bit of work and with some aid from your new allies getting to the other side of it, they pull the lever, and there's some resistance, and then a clung as the left lever seems to have returned back to the full vertical position. They both seem to be even now.
Right, so what are we doing? Are we going both to 1, both to -1, or opposite directions from each other?
Both to -1, maybe?
I say yeah, both to -1.
Alright, simultaneous?
Yeah.
Simultaneous.
Yeah.
Okay. Pulling on them, the lever on the left has some resistance and goes clung as it gets into -1. The lever on the right still has more resistance than the one on the left. Do you want to keep pulling it, or do you want to stop?
I say let's keep pulling it.
Yeah, just keep pulling
I
it.
can tug it.
Yeah.
Okay, you give it a little bit more of a tug, and you hear clung as it goes into -1, and then a crash beside you as the crucible slams into the floor and smashes all around, and you can see that it cracked open a bit, and it has landed much faster than it likely wanted to.
Huh.
And
Success.
within this crucible, you can see a glint of some sort of a bright, shining, yellowish metal.
Solid metal, or?
It seems to be, yeah. And the crucible having cracked open, you can see it through the side.
It dropped directly on the circle, though, correct?
It dropped directly on the circle. Yeah.
How do we move it from there?
What would you like to do?
Should we try and put the levers to 1 instead of -1?
I mean, that's not gonna help now, is it? I think we busted the fucking the bowl thingy majigger. So if we move it, there's a good chance whatever's in it's just gonna fall out onto the floor.
I mean, do we know what's inside
Easy
the
to
crystal?
collect.
Is actually liquid, or could it be possibly a solid?
It looks solid. You can physically see it. The crucible cracked and shattered, and some pieces came off of it. And you can see it is solid metal in there. Some glinting, shiny, yellowish metal. And there it is. It's right there. You can see it.
Can I try and figure out what type of metal it is? Just by looking at it?
Sure. Maybe a knowledge check of some kind?
Yeah, knowledge.
Yeah, so intelligence, essentially. Like, there's not really a metallurgy check, you know? So
yeah.
basically like an intelligence check.
So intelligence, that is a 21.
Okay. With a 21, maybe gold? It's tough. It looks a little yellow. It looks kind of, well, it's kind of bright for gold, but at the same time, it's not copper. You're pretty sure it's not bronze either. It's tough. You can't readily identify it. Maybe gold, but maybe not too.
Okay. As you say, in the room, there's a spear with a bit of black metal at the tip of it. Is it possible to use one of those items to help push the metal out of the circle?
You can try, yeah. And these large spears, have you seen like fireplace pokers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, imagine a fireplace poker, but like double or almost triple the size. It's that sort of large proportion of these spear-like things. They seem to be iron fireplace pokers that are maybe triple size. Like big, hefty rods of metal with points that jet off to the front and off to the side with sort of a long, kind of curved hook.
Essentially, how large of a lump of metal is this?
It seems pretty darn massive. It seemed like it was filling in most of the crucible, and I mean, in terms of size, it's really big. It's a bigger piece of metal than you are a piece of meat. And
so moving this
it's
isn't
starting. Yeah, and it kind of what's that? It kind of smells. Starting to smell in here a little bit. It's feeling kind of warm, too.
Yeah, we should probably move the levers back.
Blue?
Yeah, let's try and move the levers back to either 0 or +1 on them. Try and lift it back up if possible.
Okay, so you want to try and move the levers back to 0 again?
Yeah.
All right. Getting into your positions, pulling on the ropes. There's the clong clong as the levers, first the left and then the right, get up into the 0 position. And you want to continue to pull? Nothing seems to have changed.
I'm presuming 0 is neutral, it won't do anything. It's like it's base lock positions. Maybe, yeah, put it into 1, see what happens.
Yep, let's put both into +1.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys give pulls to bring it up into 1, and there's a clong clong as the one on the left and then soon the one on the right both go into 1. And while there is not a seemingly immediate change, there is something of a change. You can see a little yellowish, almost golden puddle beginning to form, and little rivulets of presumably molten metal dripping out of this crucible onto the floor within the circle. And you think it's tough to tell in the bright light of Piero's shield, but you think there is a slight glow to the crucible. And you can also just see on the edge to the other side of the crucible, as you get behind the levers and really pull and look over onto it, Finney, you can see that your ball bearing is glowing red and is starting to deform from becoming molten.
Okay, maybe one of these controls the heat instead, or maybe it's a proximity thing, perhaps. Oh, I'm guessing it didn't move back up though.
No, did not move.
Well,
It is getting really hot in here.
you know what, Mercedes, you still able to cast something able to chill the crucible?
I can cast my spell, Ray of Frost. That would do it.
You absolutely could.
Alright, I'll cast Ray of Frost.
All right. So on this one, it's not so much a difficulty of hitting it. The question is whether or not it's an effective hit. So I'm still going to ask you to roll the hit on the Ray of Frost, if you could. And roll damage, because you'll hit no matter what. It's just a question of how effective a hit it is.
Okay,
And roll the damage to see how cold it can help it become.
Okay, I'll roll now. So 13 plus 5, that's 18.
Okay, that's a pretty good hit. And roll some damage. The damage for Ray of Frost, which I can help with if needed.
Oh, I gotta do another roll. Alright.
Should be 12. A 1d8.
I rolled a 12 for that one.
Why a 12?
Sorry? I didn't.
Why a 12?
What do you mean why 12?
No. You roll a 1d8. So the 1D8? Maximum is 8.
Oh, a d8?
Yes, d8. Sorry, yeah, there's different dice for the damages.
In your action.
I wrote a 2, but I got a +5 for hit DC, is it?
But this isn't to hit, this is just for the damage. So the damage is just, you roll a d8, and whatever number it is, that's what it is. So you got 2.
Yeah, I got 2.
Alright. You hit with a tremendous effect, but in hitting it in, you can see one area of the cauldron, this crucible, the whole thing is starting to glow more. You can see where it hit, it just darkens a little bit, but then it starts to glow in a little bit more. You think that could work, but you're going to need to have more effect on it. And if more people could do it, that would maybe be helpful, but that seems to, at most, have slowed only a small portion of this large cylinder of metal that is starting to shift a little bit as the pieces of the crucible kind of collapse in, as the metal within begins to melt more and more from the bottom as it becomes unstable, and the puddle gets almost as big as the circle, which is itself several feet around.
I think at this point we just don't bother to try and stop this from doing whatever the fuck it's doing, because
time to leave.
So
bad crucible is bad.
Whatever's gonna happen at this point. I'm not sure there's like at the very beginning when it first hit the floor. If we had to come up with a plan to get it the fuck out of the circle pretty quick, we might have been all right. But
I mean, that's why I tried to move the levers to +1. Do the opposite of what we did, but it didn't work. So
yeah. It took too long.
If you want to do something, you could always potentially still keep doing it, but the levers didn't seem to do anything. What do you guys want to do?
The levers just seem to make it hotter, but that could have just been a contact with the circle thing as well. So
well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that. I think when we moved it the first time, we broke the controls, and regardless of what we do with those controls now, it ain't gonna change shit. And I think that thing's heating up because something is on it, like is on its surface, is touching it. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Could we use one of the fire pokers to try to push the crucible?
The crucible is massive. I don't think we're moving that.
You could always try. It's got chains on it. You might be able to hook the poker in the chains and, as a group, pull it out.
I was about to say, yeah, the poker actually has a hook at the end of it. So, yeah, I reckon we could try to hook it on and pull it towards us out of the fire.
We can try.
Okay.
It's definitely going to have to be a group effort. As you say, the fire poker is 3 times bigger. It's not something exactly small.
Yeah, so
It
we'll give it a
alone is
go. If nothing happens, we should ditch from this room, because it's gonna start getting worse and worse, probably. If it doesn't work.
Okay. So, who brings to bear this fire poker to make it work? Vosmik, anyone that has strength. Vosmik volunteers.
You said there was, what, 2 of these, or more than 2?
There are several.
Yeah.
Amongst
Maybe-
it looks like there are like 3 leather cloaks and 3 of these pokers.
Maybe you get 2 groups of 3? You know, strong people on one each, and then split everyone else up as needed.
I mean, like, if we were trying to pull with the fire poker, how many people can technically get a good grip on it? On just
Well, these things are several feet long. You can get quite a few people that can get some hands on them. Not everyone could be on one,
That's
for
what
sure.
he said.
But you could have 3 or 4 people pulling on one simultaneously.
So,
I-
2 groups of 3, then I say.
Yeah, like tug of war style. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. You know. You could do 2 groups of 3. That's fine. That works.
In that case, we'll get Vosmik to bring one over and try to hook. Damn, yeah, got it. Yeah, we'll get Vosmik to grab one, and I'll try to grab a second one.
Okay. So, who is going to be grabbing the poker controlled by Piero, and who's going to be grabbing the poker controlled by Vosmik? So who's picking Piero one?
I guess I'll be on PR one.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So the 2 Fs go to the Piero one, and then Mercedes and Alucard, the book nerds and the, I guess, just natural nerds,
Nerds.
go on to the right. Vosmik probably at some point says this is a really bad idea, but okay. So Piero, if you would please, make an athletics check, or rather, it's not so much an athletics check. This could be a combination of dexterity and strength, because it takes a lot to control this big rod, and you also want to try and hook it into the chains. So there's a little bit of elements of both.
It's a bit of acrobatics and a bit of athletics.
But if there is some other skill that you think might be applicable that you want to use, then please, by all means, volunteer that. But I would suggest strength or dexterity. Those are sort of the defaults. But if you can think of some way that animal handling or a medicine check might work, then I will accept them. But
Can I just clarify quick? Because we're
Sure.
splitting into 2 teams on either side of this thing.
I don't think
Wait,
you're on
well-
either side. I think you're on just one side.
Yeah, we're.
Well, okay, I just
Yeah,
wanted to
we're
check
both-
that we're not competing against each other stupidly here.
We are
To
not.
see who
No.
can drag the other into the puddle of molten metal.
Yeah, we are not tug of warring a crucible.
My
Yeah.
We just
crucible.
have
No,
to
my
check
crucible.
when the DM makes a tug of war reference, you gotta be sure.
Well,
Yeah.
here is a question though: do you want to be pulling it? So the levers are south of the crucible. So imagine the crucible being in the center of that 3x5 rectangle.
Mhm.
So it's at the center there. The levers are to the south of that. Do you want to, and the aprons, or rather the cloaks that, as you look at them further, actually appear to be just giant aprons. The aprons and the pokers are on the western wall around the controls, so they're kind of also to the south. If you pull this crucible towards you in this direction, towards the way you came in, they'll be going towards the levers, towards your exit, etc. If you pull them the other way, you'd have to go around it all, basically, which isn't a big deal. And you can pull it that way, in which case the controls will be potentially safe. Your exit will be potentially safe, but that's assuming that in pulling it, you don't cut yourself off from the exit. Does anybody kind of follow? Is that
Yeah.
if you pull it in a way that you know that you have a safe door that's open that you can go out, you're almost certainly going to risk damage to these controls if they are doing anything at all. But if you do it the other way, you can potentially save the controls, but you might trap yourself.
Do we give a fuck about the controls at this point?
Do we wanna?
If I may,
Do we
when I
open the other
when-
door? maybe. I'm pretty sure there's a door at the other end, right? At the north end of this room.
There is a door. Yeah, there is a door.
Yeah, do we want to quickly open that up?
Depends what's on the other side.
Why
We
are
have no
wasting
idea.
our time doing nothing?
What if we get attacked or something?
I
Fanny's just like, I got an idea. Spend several minutes to open the door as the room is slowly filling with molten
It
metal.
doesn't take several minutes to open it, sure.
And he's standing right there.
I'd say I agree. Not caring about the controls. Make sure the exit is free.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
The liquid seems to be fully encapsulating the circle now as
Oh,
it
yeah.
continues to melt.
So I'll pull it to the south then?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright.
All right.
We'll pull it to
Hero,
the
if you would please make either a strength or a dexterity or whatever else you think, if you can make a good argument that might apply.
Intimidate it. Yell at the crucible.
Before
It would technically, it would be technically acrobatics to try to juggle a huge iron poker to, make sure to hook it on. But at the same time, it would weigh a lot. So, I probably reckon strength would be more of the issue.
Sure. Yeah, make a strength check then.
Ooh,
Is there any way
21. 21.
No. I was gonna say, is there any way I can assist in this? Or
I mean, in what manner would you be able to assist?
Hold his rod.
Yeah, I could help. Hold some of the balance of it.
Underneath.
But...
Yeah. I mean, we run into the same issue here where Finney's height might be
Yeah,
more of a
fair point, actually.
to
Fair
help.
point.
Yeah, but Piero, what'd you roll?
21.
Very nice.
Didn't
You're
matter,
able
man.
to hook it under the chain very easily. And Vosvik attempts to do it and misses again. But damn it!
Can I try and point out a way of an area on the chain he might be able to hook it around easy, or?
I mean, he seems to be going for it. He just seems to not be doing very well at it. Maybe he needs some encouragement or positive reinforcement.
Wait,
Can I
you said-
possibly
you
give
said
him a
you said-
hand to help
Right?
position it?
Hang on, what'd you say, Alucard?
Said you told us we're not allowed to just push him the fuck in, right?
I mean, you're allowed to do whatever you want. It's just a question of if there are consequences. The difference is you can't order him to just, unless you make a good, reasonable argument. Ordering him to go in is not going to do it.
I could technically command him. I could technically.
You could attempt to command, but he seems to not be. It's not that a matter of he's failing, or rather that he's not doing it. It's just that he's failing. But after a moment of you all debating of whether or not to push him in or command him, he finally is able to get the hook onto a bit of a chain.
Yeah.
Hey,
There.
no negative reinforcement. It works. See?
Yeah.
I hate you all. So,
It's like he's actually here.
Oh,
so if I could get all of you to make strength checks, and Finney, if you could do so at disadvantage.
Yeah, I saw that one coming.
Yeah.
God. 9.
And I will ask for your scores.
I rolled two
So hang on.
15s. That's a 14.
Very nice. Okay,
Nailed it.
so first is Piero. What'd you get?
I sadly rolled a 9.
Oh, go here.
Okay, a 9.
How did I
And
roll higher?
Penny.
14.
Okay.
Both rolls are
And-
14.
Furia.
18.
Okay. So overall, you guys got like a 33.
Pierre, come on, man. You're meant to be the strongest out of the three of us here.
Let down, sir.
Come
All
on,
right.
dude.
And on the
More than
other
you with a
side,
minus
Alucard, what did you roll?
16.
16. That's very good. And Mercedes, what did you get? If we
Mercedes?
still have
Mercedes?
Mercedes.
Yeah, a 3. Can you hear? A 3.
A
sorry.
3?
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Pierre, at least you're not the lowest.
Let's see. Does anyone remember Vosvik's strength score?
I think it's
it
a
might
+3.
be extremely important. It's a +2.
Oh, is it +2? My bad.
Okay. He also got a 3.
Don't forget, he chased his character around and he hasn't updated that.
Gee.
Okay, well then I'll give him an extra +1 just for whatever, and it still doesn't work. So, in the combination of it, this thing begins to move, and you're able to pull it over. And since you're pulling the top of the crucible, what little of it is still combined, you're able to yank it over, and it splashes down into the molten metal, and we'll get to that in a moment. And then what metal had been sort of trapped by some of it also splashes and floods out of more of it, and we'll get to that in a moment. But the bulk of it has not moved entirely. It was close, much of it moved, but you think more effort would be required. But currently, we're going to see how badly Piero and Vosmek get burned by this molten metal, since they are the ones up front. Piero, no real saving throw involved here, unless you can think of something that would be able to aid you at this quick moment to resist this splashing of molten metal. Anything?
I cannot think of anything. I should have. God damn it! I should have got one of the cloaks. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I mention them every single time or anything. But yeah. So nothing you could do to really stop it?
I can't think of anything. The shield would have been put away if I especially grappling something.
Understood. You take
You can
3.
attempt to jump the fuck out the way.
You take 3. Well, if he moves out of the way, then it's potentially on the next person.
That's fine. We'll all just jump one by one.
It would be
Synchronized
fitting.
dodging.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can choose. I will allow you. You can choose to jump out of the way, and then it has the potential to just hit the next person in the line, which would probably be Furia and then Finny.
You know what?
Yeah,
Fury has not had much damage yet, so I'm gonna jump out of the way.
Okay. You're gonna jump out of the way?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Make a dexterity check, please. Or dexterity saving throw. Try and run out of the way.
11.
11. Yeah, I'll allow that. That's fine.
Second.
I mean, it's one of these things where it's just you kind of see it coming. Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things, like, when it comes down, it's like, you could see that it's coming for you. Like, you know it's about to occur, you're able to jump out of the way. Fury, on the other hand, you did not see it coming. It might be a little harder for you to dodge out of the way. If you would, please, if you want, you could just take the damage, take the hit, or if you have something to try and avoid this damage, you can, or you could make a dexterity saving throw to try and jump out of the way.
How much does fire resistance?
The fire resistance will cut the damage in half.
It's I can try to dodge, but then the halfling is behind me.
He's
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
It's a small
Yeah.
boy Finny.
There's
It
less
might-
of
it might
there's
go
less
over
of
his
it
head.
for it to hit.
It might go
Might as
over his
well
head.
Try to dodge.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Dexterity saving throw 20.
Okay, fantastic. You're able to quickly jump out of the way. You're pretty sure you're free of all of the splattering metal. And Finny, for some odd reason, the person in front of you just jumped out of the way. Oh, and also Piero had jumped out of the way. And now you see why. You have barely a moment before
Yeah,
a mist of molten metal hits you in the face. What would you like to do?
I'll follow suit and jump out of the way.
Okay.
Oh, Finny, don't fuck this
Because
up
you
now.
were the last one to see it happening, this gives you less time to jump out of the way. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Alright. That is a 13.
Okay, you take 3 damage
Fuck.
as molten metal flashes on your face.
Not the
And-
face, not the face!
Not only do you have that small scar, that small cut that's going to leave a small scar on your chin, you also have a circular burn, but there's also an embedded drop of some sort of molten, gleaming metal that is just seared into your skin.
Sorry, way
Almost
I
like you've got
How's
some
that
blink in
Doing
the face.
now.
Sorry, way I could, like, flick it, like, off my face before it cools down enough to dry, or?
Not. I mean, you could try. Yeah, you could try. What is there any particular? I mean, you just want to try and like brush it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tremendously painful. You can feel that it definitely has kind of cooked into the skin a little bit, and it's still burning on your cheek as you're trying to get at it. But yeah, with a little bit of effort, you're able to make sure that it gets off. But oh boy, it hurt. You still took 3 damage.
Could have been worse, I suppose. Could have been worse.
Yeah. Simultaneously to this, Vosmik also jumps out of the way, or at least attempts to, and fails, and immediately takes an undisclosed amount of damage as he, and it just splashes right into his torso region. And it just kind of, burning, ow, burning.
Someone pee on him.
Okay, we almost got it done. And you can see that the bulk of the crucible is out. The bulk of a lot of this metal is off of the edge. You think that if the crucible, you won't be able to pull it, but you might be able to stick the hooks into the softened metal and drag it to at least get the remaining chunk, the remaining cylinder, the half-melted butter stick, in a sense, out of the circle to limit it. Otherwise, the other half's just going to melt, which at this point, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, let's see if we can try to drag the remaining half out, and maybe with the majority of it out, we might be able to chill it out, or maybe the crucible.
Before you do that, get those cloth things. Get those fucking cloth things.
You want to quickly put over the leather aprons to protect you?
It may be a good idea.
Yeah,
a secondary splash is not out of the wheelhouse, so...
Yeah. Vosmik quickly also puts on one of these large leather aprons that fully covers you from basically head to toe, if you so desire. And you're able to be protected in that respect. Now, because there's not really a chain to hook into on this, like this cylinder of melting metal, you basically, the only way to really do it is to just kind of, well, you got the hook end out of it. You just kind of have to smash the hook end in and hope it sticks in enough to pull, and kind of get to, maybe you can get it onto the end, but basically the best way of potentially doing it is just kind of hitting in and hoping it digs in so that you can pull it, or getting it onto the edge, which means getting much closer to it. You kind of follow what I'm saying, is that you can pull it from the back, the furthest edge from you, but you have to get a lot closer to the point that you're going to be like standing in molten metal. Or you smash this in, but if you smash it in, of course, there's much more likely to be splashy splash.
Do we really care for this lump of metal to be moved out? Do we not just leave it here?
We could have left it from the fucking beginning, but I think, like...
I mean, we should have, but everyone was like, yeah, pull it out. I'm like, I don't
isn't the fear that if we leave it there, this thing's going to keep heating up, and then there's going to be some big fucking eruption or something?
There we go. The town unfreezes.
Wonderful.
We win these games. Easy mode.
I mean, the worst part is when you find out that this was fool's gold from the beginning, so pyrite, and we're all stood there like fucking retards. We've come this far, so, like, I don't see a point in not pulling this the rest of the way, like...
Fair enough.
Just because it might be worth something, it might have some value, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something salvageable, might as well try to get something.
I mean, sure. Question I have though is how are we gonna hoist a giant chunk of metal, which is bigger than most of us, out of
a dungeon? Half the size that it was. So. Half of it's gone.
It's something.
So what do you guys want to do? You want to try to stick the rod, stick the point in, or do you want to try and pull it from the edge, or you want to invoke magics, or have some other plan? What do you guys want to do?
Stand to PR and Vosmik, I guess. They're the ones with the pokey things.
Vosmik has very little opinion on the matter.
I mean, we could try to hook it on to the end of it.
Okay, strength check to try and smash this rod in there and stab into it. Or what do you mean onto the end, like the opposite end of it? Or trying to hit the... Do you want to pierce it, or do you want to try and pull it? The piercing will almost certainly create splashes. The pulling will require, like, leaning over molten metal. Because it's, like, so far away. Or you can maybe try to push it from the other side, but that brings in its own problems, too.
I mean, in that case, it kind of sounds like it might not be as salvageable as I first kind of believe. So maybe we should kind of run. It might be the case.
Your decision. Quick. Make it quick.
Might as well try to pull it. Yeah, and if we stab it, where somebody's going to most likely get hit by the splash.
Yeah,
but pulling it, someone could fall in. Quick! Which risk do you want? You could choose to stab it or pull it. You want to do a pull it, stab it? Pick one.
Stab it.
Stab it. Got it. Strength check. Boswick nails it.
21.
21. Fantastic. You splash in. Some of the rivulets come off. They hit the leather. No problem whatsoever. I'd like everyone to make strength checks again, as you all try to hoist to get the last bits of metal out of this circle, this large cylinder, as the metal creeps further and further closer to towards you.
Disadvantage for me again, I'm guessing?
Disadvantage for you. Look at that. Way ahead of me.
I'm
Good
learning.
job.
Oh,
Yeah.
one was a nat 20. Oh, damn it.
Oh, that's a shame.
13.
I got 18 for once.
Okay.
Okay,
so hang on, folks, because I can't keep all the numbers in my head necessarily. So we're gonna go with Piero first. So 7. You got 17 or 7?
7.
7. That's not a high number, just so you know. Followed by Finny, or followed by Furia, actually.
15.
15. That's a much better number than 7. And Finny.
13.
13. Look at that. Almost as good as 15. And on the other side of it, we've got Vosmik really anchoring it in with 7. Not doing great. Mercedes?
18.
18. Look at that. Fantastic. With an 18. And Alucard?
Same again, 16.
16?
Yep.
Just murdering it. Yeah, you guys are able to pull the remaining of this cylinder out of the area of the circle. And as it does, you can see it even begin to quickly cool to the point that the pokers even kind of get stuck a little bit as it comes out of it. The chunks and cracks of the crucible that are still within the circle continue to glow. Those that have come out are darkening up. And you can see where the metal has left the circle and has spread a little bit, but it is already solidifying just a little bit further out, as the source of the heat seems to almost certainly be something involved with the crucible in this circle and proximity, and you're not quite sure of the whole bits of it. But it seems to be that the metal is not spreading any further, although it is continuing to be molten underneath where that circle was. And it might just continue to be that way until someone takes away the metal, but at least it's not going to fill the room or go too crazy. But it is also quite warm, all that. Again. But for now, it seems like you're no longer facing a pool of molten metal of some kind, and you got this thing, whatever this crap is. So that's something. So, yay. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yay. The excitement is palpable.
I love it. It's just like,
it's not usually worth it, so.
Okay, yes, you accomplished something. What it is, we may never know, but you accomplished something. Next week, I've actually got vacation, so we'll be skipping the 30th, and the week after that will be the 6th, September 6th. Is everyone good for then?
yeah.
don't believe I have anything on. So.
Okay, so we will pick this back up on September 6th. 6th, that date.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. And if there are any questions about people's characters, we'll go over the spell list with you, Mercedes. Make sure you got all situated there. If anyone has any questions about the game or characters or anything like that, just feel free to message me. But, yep. All right. So, till 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Good. Thank you very much. Yep.
Bye.
Good holiday.
Bye.
Yep, indeed. Thank you.